Lounge. Good to see y'all. And I'm Mindy DeVille. To my left, let me unmute this lady, is the one, the only Chrystello Lovebello. What's going on, girl? What is going on, guys? We are doing a special stream tonight because, her and I are hardcore Halloween fans. Now, you guys know that we both saw Halloween Kills last week, so we just decided, you know what? Let's talk about this on stream. So we want to let you all guys know that this stream will be spoiler heavy. So please, what we're going to do is we're going to discuss the whole franchise in general because we love the franchise so much. So we'll be discussing all of that. So it's gonna be a big discussion because her and I have already been trying. We were trying to talk about all this shit before the stream. Like, no, we don't want to talk about this right now. So we don't want to do this. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna go chronological order. So from the first movie to Kills. So that way, if those y'all who haven't seen the movie, who haven't seen this, seen the movie yet, don't want to hear spoilers, they can peace out at the end. If they want to stick around for the spoilers, you can hear that too. But we do on my end, all sound alerts and channel points are off, so we won't be doing that tonight. We get discussion. We don't want to get cut in. And we do both ask that you guys keep the conversation respectful. I mean, we are all passionate about the franchise and these movies, but we don't want to hear, no, you're stupid. Don't be talking about this movie. No, we don't want any of that. Just be cool. Except for me and Chris, we can do that. So we can do that to each other. So, but, but anyways, it's always good to see Chris here with us again. It's been a while. So welcome everybody. Everybody's on Chris's end. It's good to see y'all there, and hope everybody's doing well. So if you guys like, you see, hit follow for both of us because I've known this lovely lady for 3 freaking years, 4 years almost, almost 4 years. So yeah, Halloween, the films that started it all, that started a slasher movement. One of the brought the boogeyman to life. Yes, this franchise, as you know, isn't like Scream, where the same people every movie. It's the same people, and it's the same people. We're gonna Scream 5's coming out next year, I believe. There's a new trailer coming out for that.
I think so.
Halloween has a very convoluted timeline. Like, it's not even a timeline. It is a series of timelines and twists and turns. I can't wait to hear what y'all think. And Chris is in my chat. What you guys think about what your favorite movies were? I'd love. Please, by all means, chat it up. But just keep the conversation respectful. No getting all arguey and because
everyone has an opinion. What we may like, you may not, and you like, we may not. But that's the joy of horror films. Everyone has to like the same thing.
But yeah, this is gonna be an interesting conversation. But like I said, Halloween Kills came out last week. I don't know what the box office is going to be this weekend, but first weekend box office was 50 million, which wasn't bad.
It really wasn't.
For being in the pandemic era and for a horror film. I mean, that's pretty damn good. I mean, so it's awesome for horror in general because for some reason my stream disconnected. So
did it really?
Starts up again. Yeah, mine did. Oh, now it's back on. I don't know why it's that end stream, but it should be back on. So if you guys are on my end, please refresh your browsers because it, for some reason, went off. I don't know, but we're here. Chris can still see me.
Yeah, I can still see you.
There we go. So if my stream cuts out, then Chris can still see on hers. So I still should be on mine, but it's okay. So hopefully,
I don't think I've ever seen a Halloween movie. I must have Halloween. Oh my god, Halloween! You've never seen a Halloween film, Mom? Oh wow, we're about to give you a rundown. Spoilers galore.
And how you doing? Welcome in. Good to see you. So, anyways, like I said, how you been? It's been a while since we've seen you, Piano Kitten. It's good to see you as well. So yeah, we're gonna be in a real awesome discussion tonight. So this is gonna be good shit. So, and I am gonna try to save this so I can post this on my YouTube channel. So if you guys can't watch the whole thing, we will post it. So, but anyways, Halloween is a very, very, very convoluted franchise. extremely high points. There's some extremely shit points. So I can't wait to get into this. So we're going to start from the beginning. So as you all know, with the film that started it all, 1978's Halloween, directed by John Carpenter and Deborah Hill, starring her debut is Laurie Strode, Miss Jamie Lee Curtis, Nick Castle, and the legendary Donald Pleasance. So, I mean, Chris, I'm gonna give the mic to you. You can give me your thoughts on it. Go ahead and start it off, lady.
All right, so the original Halloween, of course, starts off with all you see is a first person view of someone in a mask going into a girl's bedroom and ends up stabbing her. They go back out down the walkway. Kid gets the mask pulled off. They're like, Michael, and Michael's just standing there. 1978 was the birth of the boogeyman for a lot of people. Everyone knows I'm afraid of the Michael Myers costume for personal reasons. Thanks, my uncle. But I loved the original Halloween. I loved how you didn't know the reason why Michael did what he did. You know, it kind of let you guess and left it open to figure out why he did what he did. And I love Donald Pleasance as Dr. Loomis and Marion Chambers when they're trying to send him off to another. They're moving him to another facility. Breaks out, escapes, goes after Laurie. You know, you don't know that they're siblings just yet because she's been adopted. They don't even explain that she's a sister, so you really don't know. But just that movie had so much. It for very first of its own, it set up suspense because you never knew where he was going to be, and when you thought he was down, he wasn't. I mean, in the quote, Dr. Loomis, I shot him 6 times, and he still gets up. I mean, from everything, the acting, all of it. They didn't call Michael Myers in the first film. He was the Shape. He was the boogeyman. They never used his name except for Dr. Loomis calling him Michael. But he was known as the boogeyman or the Shape. And, you actually, if you pay close attention, get a sneak peek of what his face actually looked like when Laurie ripped the mask off his face when they were fighting. So you kind of see what it looks like. Not very, very well, but you can kind of see a little bit. I actually got to meet Nick Castle, who was the Shape from the original film. Super cool guy. I got his autograph. I told him, you were the reason I had nightmares as a child. And he laughed. He was like, that was my whole point. He was super cool, but I loved it. I loved everything about the first film. Like I said, I love the music. I loved the storytelling. I love how they left it open for you to figure out why Michael did what he did. I mean, the whole fucking sheet, him dressing up as a ghost and putting the sheet on, I was like, he might be a killer, but he's a fucking smart killer. He played his part very well. So I'm just like, I have no qualms and no fuss and complaints about the first original. It's so fucking good. But I'm gonna let Mindy, because I can gush this whole time about the first one. So I'm gonna let Mindy take it over. Let her talk about what she liked about it.
Oh Lord, what can I say? What can I say that you haven't already said? I mean, without this movie, I firmly believe there'd be no Nightmare on Elm Street, no Friday the 13th, or any of the copycat movies that you've seen since that since it came after it. I mean, for a movie that only spent $300,000 on, that made $70 million at the box office. I mean, that's telling you something, and that's all word of mouth. Back then, they didn't have the internet, they didn't have social media to, tell people. This was all word of mouth,
and they didn't really promote horror films on TV like they do nowadays.
They made a film that you did not need to go full out with gore. They kept it. It had the right amount of suspense. The cinematography was just amazing. The shit that they did at that time was just unreal, like what they did with the camera. I mean, John Carpenter knew he knew what he was doing.
He did.
I mean, he had a vision and he went for it. And
I mean, how it takes a very special person to make a William Shatner mask that terrifying.
right, right. Um, but it was really crazy. Like how he took a William Shatner mask and just totally went with it. You know what I mean?
Like I saw an interview with William Shatner who was like, "Are you serious? They really took my mask? That technically wasn't supposed to have been a mask at all. Like they used a mold of his face, and that was like for like when they did like different scenes in Star Trek for like props and stuff like prosthetics. Somehow that mold ended up gotten sold or given away, and they made a mask out of it. And that's how the William Shatner mask, I guess, was able to be put in the Halloween film because they're actually selling that mold of his face in stores, and that's he was so shocked that his face was Michael Myers. He's like, that wasn't even supposed to be out for the public, but somehow I did.
Yeah, I mean, they were actually going to go. They had two choices. They actually they actually went with a clown. They actually had a clown mask they were going to use, a full face clown mask, and then they went into until they used the mask that they have now, which is the painted William Shatner mask. That's just crazy. Like this, they and to shoot that thing in the middle of just like I think it was in spring they shot that in
I think
California
I think
where
so.
they had no leaves. They had to get these gourds from South America for the pumpkins because they didn't have you couldn't get pumpkins
Yeah,
at that time of year. So they had to um so they had to
they had
get
to work with what they had,
they, they were what they had. They had the gourds and they had to paint them and shit. And it was fantastic how they did that. So
and I mean,
but
like Mindy said, Michael Myers, he was the inspiration and opened the door for Freddy and Jason,
oh yes.
Scream, all the slashers that came after him. Michael Myers is the granddaddy of slashers. Just like
Without a doubt.
Texas Chainsaw is the granddaddy of like based on true events. That's what Texas Chainsaw was about, based on true events. And then Michael Myers is the granddaddy of slashers.
Oh, of course. And again, I want to reiterate the fact that they never used. There was hardly any blood, like at all. There was no gore. I mean, you had to use your mat. This is just the way, like how they use light and the lighting. Just like this the part where Lori backs up after seeing Annie on the freaking bed, like dead, and she's backing up, and you don't see anything in the background. It's all black in that room, and all of a sudden the light just
Hits.
enough to see his face. That is brilliant. That was fucking brilliant camera work there, I think.
And I love the shots of where at the end where they're showing like the different rooms of the house and stuff that they're in, and you can hear him breathing. But it's just like a recap of where he's been in the house, like where she stabbed him in the eye with the crochet needle, and it's just
Oh
like
man.
I loved it because all you see is the different room scenes and him breathing, but he's nowhere to be found. And I'm like, chef's kiss.
Yeah, what can you say? I mean, that film was just
It's
the
iconic.
benchmark. It's definitely iconic. It really is. It really is iconic, and just you don't know what it's. I don't know what more to say. It's just so good, like just the ending, and it was so funny because the ending. John Carpenter said several times, like when he had Donald Pleasance on that set, he asked Donald Pleasance. He said, "How do you want this to? How do you want to do this?" Actually, I think it was Donald Pleasance who told him that. He goes, "How do you want me to do this? Do you want this to do where I go? I knew this would happen, or do you want me to do a scene where I look like I was all surprised?" And he went with, "I knew this, like I knew this would happen." and the body was gone, and just and I love the end of that movie where they just had that montage of places you've all been with the breathing and the
Yes.
iconic in the background playing while the mass breathing is going on. And apparently like they didn't know what that montage was done at the last minute. They actually did was Tommy Lee Wallace and I forget who else was in there. They took pieces of film stills from stuff they didn't use and they put it together and that's how they made that montage, the ending montage for that movie.
I didn't know
And the way
that.
they ended it, yeah, it was freaking
I
badass
loved
how
it.
they
I
did that.
loved it because you knew he was coming back. Like when
So
you get shot out of a second story window 6 times and fall, you think
yeah,
a normal person would be dead. You're not getting up.
no, that kind of at that time established him as a force of evil.
Yeah.
So
When
I
Laurie
do want to
Strode
reiterate.
asked Loomis, "Is that the boogeyman?" He goes, "Yes, it was."
But I do want to I am having internet issues on my end, guys. So if we're cutting out in and out, if it gets too bad, we're gonna go right to Chris's stream, and we'll just do it on hers. I'll make sure because we're having a lot of problems here with this cutting out and stuff. Because my internet sucks. Because of course, my internet's gotta be an asshole. But if it gets too bad, guys, I will give you the link for Chris's stream. We'll all go hang out. We can still watch everything on her end. So we'll see what happens. so, but anyways, hopefully things will straighten. If it doesn't straighten out, we'll all go to her stream and watch, and we'll do this. So it's all on her stream too. So, so
We have a
of
backup
course
plan.
I gotta have issues on my stream. It's just the way it works. I mean, why wouldn't it?
Molten says you have better internet than him right now.
Oh my god, my stream keeps cutting out, and like everybody keeps leaving because it keeps cutting out on me. So
Oh,
I haven't. Yeah, my internet's been
I
a
thought
bitch
they were supposed to
lately.
be
I don't know what the
fixing that
hell's
for
going
you.
on. Oh god, it's fucking stupid. I don't get it. But but anyway, yeah. Um so yeah, so that but the thing was, and now we're going to go into Halloween 2, which is the 1981 film.
Which takes
So,
place the same night of the 1978 film.
yes it was. Now, John Carpenter was on record in saying that he hates this film. He does not like it. It was essentially done because apparently I don't know if it was you can correct me if this is wrong, but apparently there was something with him and Erwin Yablans that he there was a lawsuit and he had to do it
I
out of a law.
I think
He wanted to
so.
make yeah, there was a lawsuit involved. So Halloween 2 was made to avoid a lawsuit because he wanted to make other pictures, and the only way to do this was to make a sequel. And Deborah Hill and John Carpenter both vehemently said that they did not mean for Halloween to be a sequel.
It's supposed to
They
be an anthology series, but Michael
I,
Myers got so big too.
well, that was it. They weren't even gonna do. They weren't even thinking anthology around the time of 2. I don't think. I think they did that because they needed to. They wanted to make other pictures, and that was the only way they were gonna do it. Was because of that. And Assassin, what's going on? Welcome in. Um, then but then plus like, they just did not want to do a sequel. They were not. But how can you deny like how much money that film made, the first film?
I made a bukus of
And
money.
it was ridiculous how much they put into that. And so with a 6-pack of beer, John Carpenter wrote this script. He had no clue what he was going to do. Um so he basically he tried him and Deborah Hill made this movie, tried to make this movie so that there could be no sequels made. They didn't want any sequels made. They wanted to make it so when it ended, it ended. That was it. And
I
they
kind
didn't
of
want
wish
to do
it
it
was.
anymore.
I kind of wish that would have been the end of it. In all honesty,
Um yeah, I mean depends again it depends on where the series went after that, cuz um
we know
now
where it went
originally
though.
Yeah. Now, originally, um, Tommy Lee Wallace was asked to direct. He looked at the script and said, "No, I'm
Mm-mm.
not." He didn't want to do it.
He wanted no
He
part of that.
he didn't want to do it. Um, but they started doing this, and then apparently the original story was it was supposed to take place in a high rise. So I don't know where that all went. I think apparently Laurie Strode must have moved out or something, or it was supposed to be in a high rise, but they decided to do it the exact, they decided to do it the exact same timeline, which was kind of cool. I mean, you didn't really, they picked up right where the last one left off. Laurie Strode, aka Jamie Curtis, had to wear a wig because she had short hair,
Yeah.
so she had to wear. Um, a little more gory this time. The movie was a little bit more gorier than the stuff because apparently when they got who the fuck Rick Rosenthal was the guy who directed because he but John Carpenter saw what Rick Rosenthal did and didn't like it, so he filmed additional shit. John Carpenter did with more gore because obviously this is when Friday the 13th came out a year before. This is when other films like they copycat films were coming out, and so he was trying to pander to that audience. So that's where that came from. He didn't like how Rick Rosenthal was directing it. Apparently, forget the actress's name, but the one that played, I think it's Karen. I think it was the Bud and Karen. I think that was their name. I'm bad with names here, um, but like she was really uncomfortable for the bathtub scene where she got her face
Oh
scalded.
yeah. Okay. I know you're talking about. I don't
Um,
know the actress's name, but I know what scene you're talking about.
um, but apparently she was really uncomfortable about filming that. Halfly partially nude. So yeah, but um, he may have hated that movie, but man, I loved that scene. I think it was a worthy sequel.
I mean
And
the bathtub scene was one of the most brutal kills in that one. I
oh my
mean,
god, yeah.
when she
And
gets
then
free. Go ahead.
getting the needle through the fucking eye. Jesus Christ, that was just ridiculous. Um, that was insane.
Yeah.
And obviously, and he's basically, and real quick, go back to Halloween 1. He didn't really shoot. Dr. Loomis did not shoot Michael Myers 6 times. He shot him 7 times, which is basically impossible because a revolver only holds 6 rounds.
You're right.
So he shot him 7 times, not 6. So where that extra round because he had extra guns somewhere, who knows? But
It's Dr. Loomis. You can never can tell.
no, it's just weird reality. Um, so anyway, takes place in the hospital. Michael Myers finds out where Laurie Strode is holed up, which is I think is neat. Now Dick Warlock is now the Shape. He took over for Nick Castle. Apparently, Dick Warlock, how he got the audition was he found the mask. I think it was I don't know if it was at Erwin Yablon's office or Deborah Hill's, but he put it on and just stood in the doorway like in the
Acting
Michael
like him.
Myers pose, and that's how he got the job. Um, so apparently, also what happened was that how to explain this? Like the mask looked a little bit like orangish or skin, like this. Kind of see the had a weird tone to it. The reason that was because obviously Nick Castle had it in his pocket when he used it, and Deborah Hill was a big smoker, so the mask kind of yellowed from the smoke because it was in her office and she would smoke in her office. So that's why the mask looks kind of funky, the color.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so anyway, they did that. The one thing I didn't like, the one thing that kind of bothered me about his portrayal of Michael Myers was the fact that you could see his eyes.
Yeah. In the first one, you couldn't see Michael's eyes.
Yeah, I don't like that. I mean, he did a good job. He seemed kind of shorter. If you don't, he felt a little shorter. So,
I mean,
but
I think Nick Castle was a little taller than him. And
yeah,
not by much, but you could tell. And I don't know. To me, Nick Castle was more back in his heyday. Was a lot more. beefier, kind of like more built in the
Mm-hmm.
outfit than uh Warlock. That's just me. I don't know why I looked that hard and kind of realized that, but he just feel like he was more, I don't know, beefed up like in than Warlock was. But that's just I noticed the weird things about that. I mean, even Nick Castle even really didn't want the part as Michael. I think he was
No.
actually working on the set, and then they're like,
Yeah,
"Hey,
they just offered it to him. Here you
you want to be
go.
Michael?
You
Here you
want to
go."
do this? Yeah,
He's
you
like,
want to
"I,
do
I
this?
guess, I didn't,
Um,
didn't hire for this, but I'll do it," and that's how he became Michael.
what was interesting is when John Carpenter apparently filmed these scenes, like the redid some of the scenes and shit. He actually also reshot stuff for the made for TV version of the first Halloween, like the so because like this is when obviously the big reveal in two where Michael Myers is Laurie Strode's brother. Um, so what he did was when the TV version of Halloween 1 came out on syndication on primetime TV, he filmed new scenes to tie into that. There's a scene where he's in a conference room talking to people about Michael. There's a scene where he walks into the Michael's room and says, "You think you got everybody fooled, but not me."
I remember that. I
You
remember
do,
that. Eh.
yeah. And there's a couple extra scenes with Lori and her friends, with Annie and I forget her other name. What the hell's her name? Can't think
Linda.
of Linda, PJ Soul's character, Linda. There's some extra scenes with them too. I think it's with Jamie Lee Curtis and Linda and PJ Souls. And there's another one that took place, and it was filmed. They put it right before the scene where Dr. Loomis is walking out with Dr. Wynn, and he's like, "I told everybody," and like nobody would listen. And there's a scene before that where Loomis is in Michael's room and it's all trashed, and the word "sister" is carved in the wall. So they filmed all that. They filmed all that during before Halloween 2 came out, because when the when the movie came out, the first movie came out in prime time, that would tie
The
into the
second one.
twist. Yeah, so which is interesting. And so Carpenter was totally like inspired by the whole, Darth Vader, Empire Strikes Back, Luke, I'm your father kind of thing. So that's what he threw in there. But they intentionally filmed the ending to this movie so there would not be another Michael Myers film. So, and they also filmed two endings. There was the ending where Laurie Strode is carted away in the ambulance, and then there's this scene where she's in the ambulance, but then Jimmy pops up, and she's like, starts crying. She's like, "We made it!" And they start touching hands, and that's the end of the movie. And that's the end. So, because you in the theatrical release, you didn't know whether Jimmy lived or not. I mean,
Right.
I don't think he would have died from that unless he broke his neck. I mean, so
He got
he
fragile
broke.
bones or something.
Yeah, well, no, yeah, well, no, he walked in that fucking car with Lori and passed out while he was trying to start the car. He's like, we're gonna get out of here," and he passes out and fucking lays on the
Oh
horn.
yeah,
And
he does. He just knocks out. Forgot
so
about that.
yeah, so so that actually did really well. That movie actually did really well, and I believe in the franchise. So I do believe, as unfortunately, I sometimes have to resort to Wikipedia here, unfortunately. So, um,
There are
so
some things
anyway,
about the second film that kind of like irk me a little bit, like when Laurie's outside in the parking lot and she doesn't
mhm,
yell for Loomis and them until they go into the hospital. I'm like, Laurie, it's too late now, baby, to be yelling. They already walked in.
right?
I'm like,
I
what are you
know, and
doing?
it's just like they're like she's like, but that
Hell.
scene though, it's kind of a nail biter when she's on the ground there, and
She's
Loomis
crawling.
and mate and nurse
Marion.
Chambers comes
Grace
back
Chambers,
for
yep.
it. So she's like, "Help me!" She's like, she can't get out. "Help me!" And she's like crawling. That's kind of a that was a cool scene. I like that scene. And using Mr. Sandman, that was pretty cool too. I mean,
I
that
do
was
love
pretty.
Mr. Sandman. Like, it
Yeah,
fit the film.
but it did really well though. It opening weekend it grossed $7,446,508 on opening weekend on 1,211 screens.
And see, if they would have ended it, the second part, it'd have been a good ending because I mean, at the very end, Loomis and Laura are in the room, the operating room with the hydrogen tanks, the oxygen tanks. They shoot it. They catch him on fire.
It's a perfect
It's a
ending to
perfect ending.
that story. So,
But
but
no, they couldn't do that.
overall, Chris, what do you think about Halloween 2?
I liked it. I mean, it had, like I said, they had some moments where I'm just like the Lori part where she's crawling and she's like, and then when they go in, she starts yelling help. But like you said, that part wasn't nobody because then Michael shows up,
Mm-hmm.
and I mean, and realistically, at this point in time, we still know that Michael was above normal as a human because he got shot 7 times, 6 times, got up and walked away. But let's face it, he caught completely on fire.
Oh yes.
I mean, in all honesty, Donald Pleasance and him should have died in that explosion.
They both, yes, exactly, exactly. And did you? I don't know if you knew this, but when they go to school and they find out that Michael was there and he had the knife and
The
the
drawing.
picture, and there's the writing on the wall. It's actually pronounced Samhain. It's not pronounced Sam Hain. I always thought it was pronounced Sam
I
Hain.
thought it was
It's
saying
not.
him too.
It's pronounced Samhain
I didn't know that.
because in the next movie we're going to get to, which is Season of the Witch, that the character, yeah, the main baddie, he actually pronounces it right. He calls it Samhain. It's not pronounced Sam Hain. I thought it was. That's
I
what I
thought
thought it was this entire time.
I always
And I
called
was
it
like,
Sam Hain. I always have.
yeah, that's what I thought it was. It's thinking, I don't know, just how do you get Samhain out of Sam Hain? I don't know, but that's apparently how it is really pronounced is Samhain. But yeah, for me, Halloween 2, extremely worthy sequel to the original. I think if it could have ended right there, and
I've been happy.
I would have been happy with that. So that would have been so obviously. Um, but
I
yeah, I enjoyed it. I thought it was
I
great. I
loved
thought it
it.
was a great part. But that was that was the start of like when you start putting a character in a box, you start giving someone a motive. Now you have to write shit around that. So,
Well, it's also
but
one of the things like Michael Myers was so popular then, like
mm-hmm.
money. You just couldn't end it at the second one now because people are invested. They want more Michael
Yeah.
Myers, and I'm like, look, you can only milk a dead cow for so long.
Oh yes, yes.
And we'll get to the reason why I say milking a dead cow in the later, the later parts of the movies. Because
I know, right,
Jesus,
right. So now this is where Chris and I are probably gonna be split because this is gonna be because this now the time this is now we get split into our first and only timeline with the one movie timeline, which was the failed anthology timeline, which is Halloween 3 Season of the Witch, released in 1982. And so, as you all know, if you haven't seen this film before, um, it took a very different turn. It was unfortunately well the only way they want obviously the studio wanted 3, and John Carpenter and Deborah Hill were dead set against doing
another Michael Myers film.
Michael Myers film. They did not. They were done. They ended it the way they wanted to end it.
This is
They
what they really wanted to do was the anthology.
they wanted to do an anthology series. This is the direction they wanted to go in. So they went ahead and They started doing 3. They Tommy Lee Wallace was brought back on to do this film. He was actually happy with it. Um, they actually were right, and he wanted to be a pod movie, and this was a thing, and they wanted to do where so um they actually picked up a British science fiction writer named Nigel Kneale, and I think I'm pronouncing that guy's right name. Um, Carpenter liked his Quartermass series. I've seen the Quartermass series. I've never seen it. Um, so he wrote a script for it, and then Tommy Lee Wallace revised the script, and then so did Carpenter. But Nigel hated what those two did so much that he did not want his name in the credits of the movie.
Oh wow.
So that's why it says written and directed by Tommy Lee Wallace.
Because it pretty much was
Because
him because he changed up so much.
yeah. So they did all this, and they wanted to do an anthology, and this is where I think they fucked up. They should never, if they were going to do an anthology, they should have did it after the first movie, and it should have been explained from the get go. This is an anthology series. We're gonna leave it up to you to figure out where Michael Myers is.
Or at least if they want to do an anthology film, they should have left the scene of Halloween and made it into a different franchise instead of mashing it into the Halloween series.
Mm-hmm. So, as you know, the story revolves around. I met Tom Atkins, the guy who played Dr. Chalice, and his character kicks fucking. I think his character kicks ass.
He's probably the best thing about that film.
Drunk doctor, it's awesome. So apparently, this dude is running. This older guy is running away from these two suited men that kind of look like the knockoffs from Men in Black. He has a mask and he runs into the fucking garage guy and he gets sent to the hospital. And we meet Dr. Chalice, our hero, which is, I love this guy's character so much. I'm sorry. This guy's character is hilarious, but it was so good. And they kill this dude, and they don't know why. He has got one of the silver shamrock masks with a little button on the end. Now, he's divorced. The character's divorced, got 2 kids. It's so funny because he goes to his house and gives his kids like these shitty dollar store masks.
Yeah.
And they go, well, we already have masks. They pull out their 2 silver. And a lot of people may not know this, but if you're a fan, you will. Dr. Chalice's ex-wife is played by none other than Nancy Loomis, which was at the time with Tommy Lee Wallace's girlfriend, who also played Annie in part 1 and part 2. So not many people knew that. That was actually Tommy Lee Wallace's girlfriend at the time.
Speaking of that, I'm sorry to cut you off.
That's okay.
But I want to say it was Annie. She came back for the second part too. When the girl's on the phone talking to the girl about the killings that are going on in Haddonfield, that's her. On the phone talking to her friend.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I didn't know. I did not know
that's
that.
Her.
I didn't know that at all.
Yep, that's her.
Huh. Well, and the famous jingle for the Halloween commercial, those silver commercial, that's Tommy Lee Wallace doing the narration.
Is it really?
That's his voice. He's doing. Come on, people! It's time.
Happy,
Put on
happy
your masks
Halloween,
and wait for the big giveaway at 9.
Halloween, happy Halloween. Oh my god.
Yeah, that was probably the worst thing about that movie. But honestly, I thought it was a fun romp. I thought it was a fucking. I mean, it was a very weird but very fucking odd premise. I mean, and the thing is, like, Dan Herthely, I'm pronouncing that guy's name right. That dude actually played the main business guy in RoboCop. He was actually in RoboCop 1 and 2. He was part of OCP, the big business corporation that helped build RoboCop. So, and I think it's funny because, like, Tom Atkins, the thing that's funny about this movie is the fact that fucking this dude just grabs a 6-pack of beer and runs off with this guy's daughter, who finds out her dad passes away. So he, like, blows off his ex-wife. He's supposed to meet with him. He never did. He grabs a 6-pack of beer. They go to this fucking town where everyone knows each other. It's creepy as shit. And they fuck like twice in the goddamn movie. And it's hilarious how they're set up. I mean, it really is, because that fucking scene where that fucking lady's playing with the button, it zaps her in the face.
Oh yeah.
Oh, that's nasty.
That was gnarly. That was gnarly.
So then they figure out the master plan. Ellie disappears, so Dr. Chalice is getting chased by the crazy suited men, and then he ends up getting captured. And actually, I don't know, Chris, if you remember the scene where one of the robots catch him and he's punching through the stomach and he pulls out that yellow slime in the wires.
I remember that part.
Well, that scene where he takes out the one robot, he pulls out we realize that they're fucking androids. That guy he did that to was actually Dick Warlock, who played Michael Myers in the second film.
Oh my god. I'm gonna go rewatch Season of Witch now.
Yeah. So they pick up Dr. Chalice and they reveal the evil scheme where everything in these microchips are little pieces of Stonehenge they fucking ripped off. I don't know how the fuck they ripped off a piece of Stonehenge. Is beyond me how they got that. Um so but I think there was something like in the beginning of the movie where they um they explain like there's a piece of Stonehenge missing on the TV news or something.
They just went out
And
late at night and chipped off a piece and took it.
how the fuck do you take a big piece of Stonehenge? I don't get it. It's just weird. But
That
so
movie was a
anyway,
mess.
the plot is revealed. And, so they strap Dr. Chalice to a chair. They throw on the original Halloween because that was the movie that was playing before the big giveaway.
Which I thought that
So
was funny. That they didn't want to do any more Halloween films, but they incorporated Halloween into it.
right? It's so weird. And then they fucking then they grab then he finds his girl and they all the buttons on the robots and it takes out all the robots and it kills Mr. Colonel Cochran. And then they roll off. I love the ending though, because like while they're driving away, it's revealed that Ellie was a robot and takes him out. And then like tries to take him out. He dispatches her. And then at the end of the movie, he's still trying to get all these TV stations to turn off the fucking
Silver Shamrock stuff.
Yeah, the commercial. And I think that ending's awesome because it's not a happy ending. You don't know if they actually
stopped it or
I
not.
think that's kind of like how they did with the first Halloween. You don't know what happened.
They left it to your interpretation.
Or they didn't turn the last TV station off, which resulted in the deaths of other kids. Because, man, that scene where that fucking kid's head's rotting off.
And that bugs and snakes come out.
Yeah, that is fucking badass. I thought that scene was awesome. Overall, I mean, yeah, I respect what they were trying to do. I liked it. I think it's underrated. I mean, it was just made at the wrong time because you've already now established Michael Myers and Laurie Strode in 2 films. So now you are essentially that's what people want now. And like when you try to do a film like that strays off the beaten path,
it doesn't work.
It didn't work like that. It didn't do that bad at the box office, so surprisingly. I mean, but I think it actually I forget what it made actually it earned $6 million in opening weekend. So it actually grossed a total of $14 million in the US. But
which
it was
terrible.
also the worst performing Halloween at the time, so but it still made its money back. It made its budget back. I think they gave him like a couple, like 2-3 million.
It wasn't a lot they gave him to work with that film.
Yeah.
And I mean, do I like it personally as a Halloween film? No, I don't. I don't like it in the Halloween timeline. But I'm gonna tell you this now: if you have not watched Season of the Witch, watch it as a film on its own. Don't look at it as a part of the Halloween timeline. Watch it as a film on its own, and it's so much better. If you don't think of alright, this is gonna have something to do with Michael Myers, you can actually appreciate it a little more than going, okay, this is supposed to be a Halloween film. Where the fuck is Michael Myers at? And it's gonna ruin it for you. I mean, it's not one of my favorites. I like it a lot more than a lot of the later ones, even though it has nothing to do with Michael Myers. For a film on its own, a standalone film, it's okay. It's good. But
I mean, compared to the other stinkers in the franchise that we're gonna get to, I would rather watch Halloween 3.
I'll watch Halloween 3
over any of them fucking movies any day. Oh
Lord
my
Jesus.
God, it was just... I actually met Tom Atkins. I think I've told Chris this several times already, but I've actually met Tom Atkins at a horror fest in Erie. It was like back in 2006. They had Charlie Cyphers and a couple other actors from a couple Halloween movies, and Tom Atkins was there. And I was working with a guy who did independent horror films at the time, and we went to the bar afterwards. And he was there, Tom Atkins. He had a few tied on. I mean, he was kind of drunk, and he was so fucking cool. Like my buddy gave him a card for his movies and stuff. Now Tom Atkins is probably with the Screen Actors Guild, so there was no way he was going to be able to do one of our movies unless he could cajole the union into letting him do it. But he's like, I'll take it. He's like, yeah, that's really appreciate this. I'll take a look. If I'm interested, yeah, I'd love to be a part of this. And like, oh my god, the dude from The Fog and Halloween 3, like, and then like he started singing the fucking jingle and put his
Oh
arms around me. We were
no.
doing the fucking jingle. It was badass. Oh my god. See, cell phones back in the day didn't have the cameras and shit. Now, if they would have had the actual cameras and stuff, you know, like phone cameras and that would have been a fucking sight.
Man.
So, so I was just like, what the hell? This is like,
That's awesome though. I would like to meet Tom Atkins in person. I mean, I'd even sing the
he's a
fucking
good
jingle with
dude.
him.
Like Tony Todd was there too from Candyman.
I want to meet him so bad.
Oh yeah, he was a dick.
Was he really?
He was kind of an asshole. Tony
Oh,
Todd.
damn.
Yeah, I don't know if he was having a bad night or something that night, but like he was just, yeah, it was just really, really nasty, I guess. So
I know one thing I regret from the con that I went to and I met Nick Castle was I didn't get to go to PJ Souls. Well, I met her.
she's so sweet.
She's so nice, and I
met
wanted
her. She's a sweetheart.
She's so nice. She's so cool with her her fans and stuff. But she had
yeah,
a beanie with the station wagon on it. It said "Speed Kills."
Mm-hmm.
From when she yells at him in the first film, "Hey, Speed Kills." She had the fucking brown station wagon on it, and it said "Speed Kills." And I wanted that beanie so
really?
bad. Yes, but she went to do a panel with Nick Castle and oh, his name's the guy that does Michael now.
James Jude Courtney.
Yeah, they were doing a Halloween panel, and they had no one running her booth while they did the panel, so I couldn't buy the beanie, and we were leaving. I was so sad because I wanted that beanie. I was like, dude, I should have got it when I met her that day, but I was like, that was too awestruck. Awesome. She is so nice. Her and Nick Castle are super nice. And Courtney. Courtney was nice too.
That's what you were saying. Big dude. Like, PJ Souls, I loved her. Like, obviously, I liked her in Carrie.
Yeah,
Carrie.
She was good in
her
Carrie.
Film debut, and I loved her in Rock and Roll High School. Because that movie has a thing for me because the Ramones are in it, and like that, I loved her as Riff Randall. She was like the lead role in that movie. It's a Roger Corman film.
Yeah.
If you ever watch it, it's a good film.
I'm gonna check it out.
If you know how Roger Corman makes movies, then you're in for a good time. It's cheesy as fuck, and it's B movie.
I love it.
Bliss.
I'm already interested.
The fucking Ramones are in it though. She's awesome, and I love Riff Randall. She's amazing.
I'm gonna have to look at that.
Oh god, yeah, Rock and Roll High School. You need to at least rent that and check it out. It's a fun movie. It really is. But yeah. So, anyways, Halloween 3 pretty much at that time kind of fucked the franchise up a bit.
Just a bit.
So you didn't. So then then it kind of gave rise to Nightmare on Elm Street, more Friday the 13th movies. Because now, a year later in '83, Friday the 13th Part 3 came out, and that's where Jason got his iconic
hockey mask.
The hockey mask, and then '84, you had Nightmare on Elm Street debuts, and by all this time, Jason and Freddy are now becoming more established and more, kind of overshadowing the whole Halloween franchise and gaining popularity until 6 years later.
Yeah. Took him long enough.
Halloween 4, the return of Michael Myers comes around. This one was released in October 21st, 1988. It's interesting how it started out because John Carpenter did want involvement in this. He was actually going to be part of this, and so Jamie Lee Curtis is already pretty much a pretty major actress at this time, so she wasn't interested in doing it. So anyways, the original idea that John Carpenter pitched was, Haddonfield was going to be a thing. It was going to be Haddonfield. But Michael Myers was going to be like a ghost. Like Halloween was banned in Haddonfield. No one was allowed to have Halloween because of all. You were just dealing with the ghost of Michael Myers. You weren't dealing with the actual spiritual form. And apparently Mustafa Khan, the guy who financed all these movies, he didn't want to do it. He's like, nope, I want Michael Myers back.
I want the real deal.
Film without Michael Myers. And this became like a big conflict between him and Carpenter, to the point where Deborah Hill and John Carpenter said, "Well, fuck this, we're done," and they basically sold the rights to Mustafa Akkad, and that's when you see the fucking subtitle Halloween 4, you know who's in this movie. They're not fucking around this time. So they can't get Jamie Lee Curtis back, so they have a new actress in the name of Danielle Harris. So, Chris, I'm gonna let you put your thoughts about this film first. Go ahead.
So Halloween 4 is where my love for this original timeline ends. Premise of the film is it's years later. Apparently, Laurie has a child named Jamie. You don't know. I don't think it shows. I think it's just a picture of her and the dad. I can't remember who the dad was.
Yeah, they do. They show actually a picture of Jamie Lee Curtis. You don't know who the dad is.
Yeah, but apparently Jamie Lee Curtis, Laurie dies. She dies. She's off the picture. That was the way of killing her out, getting her out of the series. Was she died in a car wreck or something? She's gone. So now Jamie is adopted by another family. Oh, what's her sister's name? Her adopted sister. Oh, I cannot remember the girl's name. But Michael comes back to Haddonfield and is after Jamie. And now Jamie in the film shows some signs that she's gonna be just like Michael, where she's in the store looking for a Halloween costume, and she picks the clown costume, eerily similar to Michael's costume that he had when he was a child. And so, pretty much, it's part 4 is almost like a rehash of part 1 without Jamie Lee Curtis. I mean, her older sister's babysitting her, bringing her for Halloween. The girl has like this crush on a guy that ends up sleeping with the sheriff's daughter. She has a big ass fucking t-shirt on that says "Cops do it right" or something like that. She gets killed. She was a hot bitch anyway. I couldn't stand her in the film. She was one of the Mean Girls. Oh, I hated her. But of course, at the end, they catch Michael. Dr. Loomis shows up. They end up catching Michael at the end of it. And at the very end, little old Jamie, all you see is the view of someone in a mask, and they go into a bathroom where her adopted mother's running water for her, and she gets stabbed with, I think, with a pair of scissors instead of a knife.
You're right.
She kills the mother, and Loomis, for some odd reason, shows up. Like, he knows that something's about to happen, and he knows something's wrong. So Loomis comes through the door, and Jamie's at the very top of the stairway, holding the bloody scissors with the clown mask on. It was like a revamp. Like I said, the first one, it was trying to show, like, I guess, like, the Strode family bloodline was, like, cursed. Like, something to do with them just innate evil. And Mike was coming to kill her. He didn't get her. So she was the next Michael prodigy, I guess. I liked it. I liked the kills when the sheriff's sitting in the rocking chair, because they end up bringing them to the sheriff's house. And when the sheriff is sitting in the rocking chair and Michael, I think, shoves the gun through him.
Right.
Oh, man. That was such a good... Or either he blows his head off or grabs his head and squishes it, or he shoves the gun through her. I know he shoves the shotgun, and maybe through the girl. Maybe the girl, he does that too. But he grabs that shotgun and shoves it through one of them.
Yeah, it's her his Sheriff Meeker's daughter. He does that too.
I was like, she deserved that.
Yeah, definitely. I agree.
But this is where the timeline ends on a good note, because the next one's coming up are just a shit show.
Yeah.
It's a shit show.
Oh boy. Yeah, definitely. I agree. Actually, like I said, this is probably for me the end of the original timeline for me, because I think it was it was a good film. I think it was, like I said, they definitely, you knew who was coming back. I liked how they were going to the hospital, and you hear some crazy person going, ah! He screams in the background. That dog like looking around like, what the hell's in that? That security guard's like, it was Jesus. And the security guard goes, Jesus ain't got
I
nothing
have to
to do
do
with
this.
this place.
I love
And
that.
like, welcome to where society keeps their worst nightmares.
Oh,
So he explains what's going on with Michael, and apparently, surprisingly, they survived the fucking explosion that happened in the fucking movie. So I was like, oh my god. So they basically, Dr. Loomis apparently survived with just a little bit of a burn on his face,
yeah,
which is,
just right here.
I don't know what the, and
On
he
the
got
cheek.
stabbed in Halloween too.
He did
so I don't
get
know how he
stabbed.
survived that. So
Tough son of a
we don't
bitch.
know. Who cares? So he hated like the makeup because he said he looked like he had an egg on his face. He hated that. So there were several times where they actually had to redo that because he didn't like how it was
It didn't look like a
originally.
burn. And even
And
in the remakes, it didn't really look like a burn. I don't know what it looked like, but it was not good prosthetic makeup.
no. They and then so I mean, I like Danielle Harris. She did a great job.
She did.
I think she did an awesome job. Not really knowing who the father was, but you're just assuming it was Jimmy. So, I mean,
They leave it up.
I mean, maybe that's who it was, but
It wasn't her crush on the second one. Oh, what was his name? Was it the first one he get rammed into the police car? I think it is. They ram him into the police car because he has a Michael Myers mask on.
Ben Tramer, yeah,
Ben
the first
Tramer.
one.
It ain't Ben Tramer because he got smushed. You know that.
So I mean, I think it's cool though that like they explained explained how his mask looked different. He had to get a new one. So apparently he found another jumpsuit too. That was funny. Donald Pleasance was awesome, and obviously they had to get somebody back from that movie, so they got him back. He's obviously awesome. I always loved Donald Pleasance. I thought I think he's amazing.
He's a great actor.
The kills were great. I love the end where he rips the fucking guy's throat out. So that was pretty
Peyton
badass.
has appeared. Excuse us. Wild Peyton.
Hello there.
And did you notice, like at the end, at the one scene, there's one scene in the movie. It's in the high school, and the mask looks completely different.
Yes.
Has like blonde hair and like
it almost looks like Ben Tramer's mask. It almost looks like Ben Tramer's mask did.
Yeah, that's exactly right. And the reason and their excuse was they didn't want to reshoot that. I was like, why not?
Where did he get blonde hair from? Did you get a dye job?
Mask. It's like, why would you reuse that?
I do like though. I'll still never understand when they explained in the first one about how Michael Myers learned how to drive, and Loomis like someone must have taught him. That dude drives better than most people, but like I like when he goes to get to the mechanic shop to go get his new outfit, and Loomis comes in like not even a few minutes late, and he could have saved them people, or at least chased them off, I suppose. But when he sees him in the reflection, he shoots at Michael, and then Michael just walks on off because it was his reflection in the mirror, and then he drives off, and then the whole mechanic place explodes. I'm like, this son of a bitch.
I know, and the funny thing is like, obviously the end. I mean, the ending was great. I mean, just the evil was passed on to a new generation, and just to hear Loomis, no,
just heartbreaking because he knew it was about to happen. And it kind of made you think that Jamie was going to be the new Michael Myers. Like, she was going to take his place.
They kind of... The people that wrote it, Dwight Little and Alan McElroy, they had to hurry up and film this because of there would be a writer's strike in Hollywood, so they had to hurry up and do this. And, so they had to hurry up and do it. And that's how they wrote it. They're kind of making it so she was the next in line to get the fucking...
The mark of the thorn.
Yeah. So, film did really well though. The film, they made the film for $5 million, and it made $17.8 million in the U.S. alone. So it means it was like, wow, they
made more than the third one did.
They redid it, and so they actually kind of did well.
It was well
And
received. I think because people wanted to see Michael again.
yeah, so everybody saw Michael again. Everybody was ready for it, and it did well. And yeah, so it was like I liked it, but again, they could have ended it with 4, and I would have been okay with that. So,
But then people have been like, well, what happens to her? Is she going to be the new Michael Myers? And then they'd be begging for a whole trilogy with her in it. And so it would have been just like a spin-off kind of thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, anyways, they decided so apparently, instead of waiting at least a year or two to figure something out, they decided the next year to make what I would think is the worst film in the Halloween franchise. The absolute worst film in the Halloween. This is, for me personally, I hate this film. This is the lowest point it could get with the Halloween franchise, and that would be The Revenge of Michael Myers, Halloween 5,
that
directed by
mask.
Dominique Othen and Gerard. That dude should stay away from horror films and should never touch a film ever again. That dude ruined this timeline so bad. And he was given a script. They were actually the people that were involved with 4 were going to come back and rewrite this.
I wish they would have.
But he literally took the script and threw it in the trash and did it on his own. Fuck it.
What a shitbag.
So takes place right after the events of Halloween 4. Apparently Jamie is okay. Everybody forgives her for what she did. Oh, look, her mom's okay and her stepmom's okay now. So nothing happened. She just got attacked. Nothing happened to her. And so it started off weird because this movie was originally like the original beginning of this movie was they actually flashed back to 4.
Yeah.
They showed a dude throwing dynamite down the fucking mine shaft and it blows up and he escapes. Now, in the film, the theatrical release, he ends up, some old man picks him up and puts him in his hermit cave and
like heals him back to health.
Lays there for a year.
And then he kills him.
Yeah, the alternate beginning was this shaman who put a thorn tattoo on him, resurrected him.
Yeah.
So now apparently Jamie is now mute for some god unknown reason. Don't know why, how that happened.
Guess she got traumatized.
Yeah, that could be. But now she's like telepathically linked to Michael Myers. And the sad thing is like this film, he made changes on the spot. Like the whole Thorn thing, the Man in Black, that shit was made up as they went along. That was never like ever written in a script or anything. It was just that way. And so yeah, this dude just fucked this story all up. And so, there's the chase ensues, and I'm going to tell you right now, again, this is the worst. The character Tina is the most annoying fucking girl in that movie. They kill off fucking Rachel, which is her adopted sister, in 20 minutes within the film. So that sucked. And then on top of it, you had Tina, who is the worst fucking character in the Halloween franchise. I was so glad they killed her off in that movie. I was so glad that she was dead.
She brought nothing to the film.
No, it was
absolutely
stupid.
Nothing.
It was fucking dumb. And you notice, like, when you went to the Myers house, it don't even look like the fucking house. It's a totally different house.
Totally different house.
Fuck.
Do they remodel it or something in this whole time frame? But it happened right afterwards, so
Dominique Gerard didn't even care. He's like, oh well.
They'll never notice.
Well, whatever.
They don't notice that. Bullshit.
Yeah. Then the mask was completely different. He thought, we went something different.
That ugly fucking mask. Oh my god.
Actually, and almost Danielle Harris almost ran over in the scene. She almost there's a scene where Michael's chasing her in a car.
Yeah.
She actually almost went underneath the car.
Oh shit.
Fell. Yeah, and so good thing she was all right. Now originally Dr. Loomis was supposed to die. This was his last movie. He died. He had a heart attack at the end in the movie. That's how he's
Yeah.
supposed to die. He's hit Michael Myers with this big piece of wood, and he falls on him, and he's supposed to be dead. Died of a heart attack. And so the movie ends with Michael Myers gets arrested, thrown in jail, and then the Man in Black comes in, takes out the whole police station, and they all escape, and no one knows what the fuck happened. This movie was fucking hot garbage. I'm sorry. I mean, that's just my opinion. If there's any of y'all that likes it, good on you. I won't judge you. But that movie fucking sucked. And fuck Dominique Girard for doing what he did to that movie. This is fucking, it was just fucking trash. I hate this movie. I've watched it once. I own a copy of it, and I'll never watch it again.
I mean,
the movie was just fucking garbage.
if you watch the other ones after 4 once, you've watched them more than enough. You don't need to watch them anymore. Once is enough.
This is the part where I'm going to say, with all due respect, to Mustafa Akkad, with no disrespect, because he is gone. He passed. He was him and his daughter were killed in a Al Qaeda bombing in 2005, I believe it was. So I mean, I don't want to rag him too much on him. I mean, I do appreciate his contribution, in financing these films and getting them off the ground.
But still,
this is the example of where, when he gets control of this franchise,
it goes downhill.
It goes to shit. So, Chris, if you want to add some additional stuff, go for it. So,
you pretty much covered it. I don't like 5. I don't like 5 at all. It just made no sense. Like she said, I mean, I think she's in the crazy house now. She's mute. Her stepmom's alive, or adopted mom's alive, because, I mean, fuck it. You get stabbed to death with scissors, you're gonna come back to life. And like she said, at the very end of 4, I mean, you have the fucking whole police brigade shooting him, just blasting him with these heavy powered guns. He falls into the mine shaft. That could have been the end of it. But then you still had Jamie at the very end where she's on the stairway. Oh. So I'm like, okay, either way, if you ended Michael, you still had an out to make another Halloween with her. I mean, it was so convoluted. I got something to add
too at the end here.
It was a convoluted film. I hate it. I hate 5. Not as much as I hate Part 6 though. Part 6 is worse.
Part 5 for me has the worst character assassination I've ever witnessed on film. And that was a scene where Michael Myers sheds a tear and cries.
That didn't make no sense.
When I saw that movie the first time, I'm like, what? No! Michael Myers is supposed to have feelings? What the hell?
I don't even know why he cried about that.
And again, you were fucking blown up in an explosion. You were not even burned. What the hell? You are not even burned. There's not even a burn mark on you, hardly. And you both your eyes got shot out. How the hell do you now have eyes? Oh, this movie was just fucking hot garbage. Oh god. And it still remains the worst performing Halloween movie in the franchise in the box office.
The acting was terrible.
$11.6 million, and it was it's still.
Rob Zombie's made more than that.
It is still the worst performing Halloween film in the franchise. Oh god. And again, Dominique Girard should stay the fuck away from filmmaking. Stay the fuck away from horror films, and never touch horror films ever again, to bastardize another fucking franchise like he did with Halloween. This was just pure fucking garbage, and it just needs to never be thought of or talked about again.
Oh Lord. If he wants to make horror films, make your own horror films. Don't take a horror franchise and fuck it like you did. I mean, you literally fucked Halloween dry. You told the Halloween franchise, bite the pillow, I'm going in dry, and just fucked it and just ruined it. And I'm just like,
God.
That's why when people ask me, should I watch the whole series of Halloween, I'm like, I advise you to watch 1, 2, and 4. But if you want to watch all of them, if you haven't seen them, I will be your emotional support buddy when you get to 5 and after. Because you're going to
Oh
need
God.
emotional support. Because you're going to be pissed off. Six, six,
Oh God.
six.
And A Scorcher, how you doing? Welcome in. I hope you're doing well, buddy. Thank you for stopping in. Do appreciate that.
Oh
Sorry
God.
if the stream. Sorry if the stream looks like hot garbage on my end. Unfortunately, my internet's being a bastard as usual. So,
You're
but
looking
I do
good
appreciate you
on
stopping
my
in.
side so
So,
far. At least on Zoom,
um,
you look good.
yeah. It's just I don't know. It's just bad on my end. So again, guys, I will put this up on YouTube. So if you guys miss it, so. But anyways, after the hot garbage mess that was Halloween 5, the series lasted for another. It lasted dormant for about 6 years, and now for some reason they decided because like the last two films were released through Mustafa Akkad's company, which is Trifecta, and so now Dimension Films now wants to pick up the franchise, and now we get and Relic Rare. Thank you so much for that sub. I do appreciate that for 16 months, girl. Thank you so much. How you doing, Mel? I hope you're doing well, love. Thank you so much. How you doing? Thank you so much for that resub. I do appreciate that. Um, so now 6 years goes down the road, and now we decide we're going to do another Halloween film. And this one is The Curse of Michael Myers, which was released September 29th, 1995. And this was actually the very first Halloween movie I saw in the theaters. So I actually saw that with a date. This was, oh man, this was,
Straight shit.
yeah, it was written by Daniel Ferrens. It was rewritten many, 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 many times.
They had a lot
Like
of issues
this.
with this one.
Um. So. Anyway. So Daniel Ferrens wrote. He wrote the sixth entry. He gave his script to the producer of Halloween 5. He was impressed with it, so he set up a meeting with Mustafa Akkad. Um. Ferrens described the meeting as this. I spent weeks preparing for the meeting and came with a huge notebook filled with Halloween research. This dude knew his shit. I had the entire series laid out in timeline, a bio of every character, a family tree of the Myers and Strode clans, as well as the research I had compiled about the runic thorn symbol that was shown in Halloween 5. I then laid out how I thought this might be explored in Halloween 6. So, there's a lot of legal shit, and, they bought the right, and then Miramax, which was a branch company, they bought the series. So, um, So the Phil Rosenberg came along and was the first writer hired for the film. It was originally titled Halloween 666: The Origin. Akkad hated it. Mustafa Akkad hated it. And literally tossed his script across the room after he finished reading it. So they actually got Evil Dead co-writer Scott Spiegel to direct it, and Quentin Tarantino was going to write the script for it.
I kind
And
of wanted to watch that. I would have watched that.
Tarantino's script involved Michael Myers and the Man in Black fleeing Haddonfield together and going on a road trip down Route 66 while murdering people, but he was never officially hired, and Spiegel departed the project right after that. And then Tarantino's rejected screenplay bears a resemblance to the screenplay for Natural Born Killers, which he was pitching to Miramax at the same time he was writing a screenplay for Halloween 6.
Jesus.
So yeah, so they went into this. And so they got Ferrens to come along, and he actually apparently was hired to write a new screenplay. They filmed the movie in Salt Lake City, Utah, and so basically, what Ferrens was trying to do was try to bridge 4 and 5 in the series to the earlier films. He was trying to make it more
Cognitive to the rest of them.
More sense, yeah, basically more sense. So he did all this. And so they're trying to. Paul Rudd's in this movie.
Young Paul Rudd.
Ant-Man. So Paul Rudd's in this as well.
It's Tommy Doyle.
All going to be in Ghostbusters as well, too.
Was he really?
Yeah, he's going to be in Ghostbusters Afterlife.
Oh.
So, But Mel, again, thank you so much for that resub for 16 months. I do appreciate that. Thank you so much, girl. Oh, pleasure to see you. I hope you and Johnny have a good time this weekend at HowlCon. I want to hear all about it. It's gonna be good times. Um, but anyways, well, Danielle Harris was in an interview said that she was actually there's this thing called they have called dailies where there's like they show what kind of work was available and stuff. So apparently, while looking through these dailies, she's seen that there was a part for Halloween 6, and they used her headshot because they wanted an actress that was over 18, which kind of pissed her off. So she actually called, Mustafa Akkad and Daniel Farrens and everybody involved, like, hey, I want to be a part of this.
You're using my
really,
headshot.
yeah, they said they really wanted somebody to be over 18 so they could work. So apparently she went to the courts and everything to prove that, hey, she's a legal adult, she can take care of herself. So she went bent over backwards to do this film. Then she said like things were starting to get kind of weird and funky with how this stuff was playing out. She didn't really like the script because obviously, the original script called for Michael Myers to be to impregnate his own niece, which was the dumbest thing I've ever heard. It was just terrible. This is like
Fucking
totally
hate that.
tarnished the Michael Myers character. Like
Not only
now
is he a murderer, he's a he's an
pedophile
incest rapist.
for Christ's sakes. So she was just like, I don't know about this, and they were trying to work this out to get her and be a part of it. And then apparently she said some woman who worked with the film called, and she's just like, well, you're a scaled character. You die in the first act. We're not giving you any more money. It's just so Danielle Harris is like, well, fuck you then. I'm out of here. All I want is the money that I made back, and I'm just going to, yeah. So I'm done. Fuck you guys. I'm out of here. So that was the end of that. So immediately after this, so now they start filming. And this movie is now trying to make sense of part 5. J.C. Brandy replaces Danielle Harris as Jamie Lloyd because they couldn't get her back. Now, mind you, J.C. Brandy, the actress who plays Jamie in this movie, is 21 years old, not a 17, 15-year-old girl. So she looks. So I saw this movie. I'm like, wait, that's not Dan. I saw it. I'm like, that's not Danielle Harris.
Totally different person.
This woman looks like 20 years old, like 6 years older. Like, what the fuck?
She looked like a grown ass woman, probably like her late 20s.
Who's this fucking baby? Like, she had a baby to who? What the fuck's going on here?
Mikey boy. When they said that, I was like, the fuck?
Yeah, so they start doing this shit, and then Paul Rudd is dun 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 Tommy Doyle from the first movie. So then now the new woman is Kara Strode, who has a son. Now we don't know; it's not really explained in what relation that Strode family is to
Michael, Laurie
Strode. You just assume they're cousins. So, yeah. So apparently, and Dr. Loomis survived and had nothing. Now he has no burn marks on him whatsoever. So it's like, okay, well, thank you for that. I guess apparently now, that never happened. Oh, I'm alive. I survived my heart attack, and I had plastic surgery. He said he had plastic surgery.
But he is retired now. He no longer works. He is retired.
Yeah, he is retired.
He's like, fuck all this. I don't want to be part of this no more.
So now it is now revealed that this whole thing is called the Curse of Thorn, where it is now an ancient thing where it's so fucking dumb. And Aiden Perez, what's going on, dude? How are you? Welcome in. Hope you're doing well. Thank you for stopping by, buddy. Enjoy the conversation. I hope you enjoy this conversation. We're doing pretty well so far. Hopefully this stream is holding up too. But anyways, yeah, so we are, into this movie. And now Kara's wondering why her son is acting weird and fucked up and screwy, and it just snowballs in this goofball fucking plot, and is now and so her son gets. I can't even describe the movie. I don't even know what the movie's about half the time.
And
It's so bad.
it does. I'm gonna tell you guys, it does not connect 6 to 5, or 4 to 5. It doesn't.
It's so bad.
It doesn't connect any of it. It's just they threw a bunch of ideas together that they thought would look good and work together. They didn't. They didn't. God, I fucking hate it.
And it's fine. It's discovered that the Man in Black was actually named Dr. Wynn. He's actually Dr. Wynn for you only saw for a few seconds in the Halloween franchise.
Oh.
So yeah, it's just not. So
he's obsessed with Michael Myers, pretty much.
They were going to sacrifice Kara into the cult, and Michael Myers is there, and apparently they had this fucking thing where it's hard to explain this shit. But they need to sacrifice her, and the story is just so fucking weird.
It's convoluted.
Yeah, this story is just so convoluted. So they capture everybody, they leave, and so it's just fucking weird.
It's worse than I'm telling you. I know you said 5. You hated 5 the most.
Mm-hmm.
I hate 6. Like, I don't like 5 either, but I would grit my teeth and bear it and watch 5 again, than watch 6.
6 had some interesting shit. I will say there was some interesting kills. That movie was actually shown to a test group, and the test group was like, "Where's the blood?" If they showed it to like 14-year-old kids.
Wow.
When you see that scene where he just takes out the entire fucking hospital, that
Yeah.
operating room, whatever, that was because of that.
Really?
Yeah, because the test group going, there's not enough violence in this movie. That probably saved it, to be honest with you. So, and it's just sad that this was the last film that Donald Pleasence was involved in. He passed away before they stopped filming this thing. So, poor guy. This had to be the movie that he had to pass away on, and could have ended on a good note, but he stuck with it, and I couldn't believe it.
You got good props for that. He, as bad as it was getting, he was like, you know what? I'll still rock Dr. Loomis.
But anyway, like, so they escape the hospital. Dr. Wynn, and I don't even remember what happens half the time in this fucking movie. It's so bad. So anyway, they get in this fucking boondoggle, and Loomis walks back into the hospital, and all you hear is screaming. You see Michael Myers' mask and the syringe laying there, and that's the end of the movie.
Yep.
So you walk away from this movie going, "What the fuck did I just watch again?"
It makes no sense.
No fucking sense. There is a producer's cut where where it supposedly makes a little more sense, but it doesn't make the movie any better. So it's, again, they bring up the whole point where Michael, they kind of in the producer's cut, they explain what happened between 5 and 6. They said Jamie and Michael were taken away by the Man in Black, and it's also revealed that Michael Myers banged his own niece and got a fucking kid out of it. So that was just ridiculous. I was like, what the fuck would you do that for? I don't want my man Michael Myers being a fucking rapist pedophile, and God, that's disgusting. And the ending was completely different. What they did was, now you didn't know what happened to Michael and Dr. Loomis. So Paul Rudd, the Tommy Doyle character, put rune stones in the circle and cut his hand, put blood in the middle. So Michael Myers is chasing Paul Rudd's kid, Tommy Doyle. He gets in that circle, and it literally stops him.
Yep.
He can't move. So he's literally stopped there. They walk out. Dr. Loomis comes back into the hospital. He sees somebody in a Michael Myers costume. He takes the mask off. It's Dr. Wynn. Michael Myers just walks off wearing the Man in Black costume and just walks off into the fucking sunset. It's so fucking dumb.
Stupid.
It is so fucking dumb. and just watching him walk off into the goddamn sunset like some fucking weirdo, and he's so, and then Dr. Loomis looks on his wrist and sees the thorn tattoo coming on his. It's like he
Now he's got it,
screams.
and he's got the curse.
Because he screams at the end of the original
Yeah.
theatrical cut, but you don't know what the
Like
fuck
he's
happened.
screaming
It's like,
about.
did he get killed? Did him and Michael just kill each other again? It's like, oh my god, this movie is just a fucking wreck. And that, my friends, is technically the end of the original timeline, of the OG timeline. If you're not, if you take out 3,
Yeah.
so 1, 2, 4, 5, and 6 are the original fucking timeline. As convoluted and horrible, and resurrecting Michael Myers for me in that sense, and that originally at that time was a huge swing and a miss.
Yeah. Oh god, a huge miss.
It was a huge swing and a miss. And so afterwards, so Chris, probably if you want to add any more to that, you go right ahead.
I hate 6. I did. I will point out that I did not like Paul Rudd's acting in that one. He was a fucking creep, like a creepy Tommy Doyle. Like watching through the window and shit. I was like, dude, you're a fucking creep, my guy.
Yeah, exactly.
I did not. The acting was horrible. The whole Michael having a kid with Jamie was
god, that's
fucking.
I
don't know why they thought that was a great idea. He's never done anything like this. Why he
definitely wasn't.
Every film him, he goes to kill him, not to bang him. Okay, and especially your own younger niece. That's fucked up.
That's fucking creepy, man. That's just wrong.
This
is fucking wrong.
I joke, I'm like, did Stephen King have something to do with this? Because I mean, Stephen King had the child orgy in It. So did Stephen King in his cocaine binge idea just like Michael Myers should bang his niece? I mean, I don't get why they put that there, and for that to be the ending to the original timeline, they went out with a bang, but it wasn't the good one. It was like a bang when you throw something into a trash can, and just like, I'm done with this. It's horrible.
Well, yeah, because in early '95, after the filming and editing was completed, The Curse of Michael Myers was given a test screen in New York City, which is described as actress Marion Hagen. They didn't like her either. They fucking ripped on her bad. Like, it consisted primarily of 14-year-old boys. During the Q&A after, one of the audience members expressed great displeasure at the ending of the film, which entailed a Celtic ritual and the passing of the curse of the thorn of the Dr. Loomis character. As a result of the audience's approval, the movie was rushed back into production, but without Donald Pleasance, because he died. They couldn't bring him back in, so they had to do it with that stupid ending where it's just a mask and the syringe of whatever the hell he was injected with,
screaming,
laying on the ground and him screaming. So that made absolutely no fucking sense of what happened. So, yeah, it's just nasty, and it's just, it's just, oh god, it's just sad. It was just sad to like to see that fucking, you know. And the thing is also like, when in the producer's cut, Jamie Lloyd character, she doesn't get, you know how Michael Myers pushes her through that fucking farm equipment and that shit.
Yes.
But she survives. She gets stabbed by Michael Myers in a barn in that farm, but she didn't get impaled. But she ended up in a hospital. She's in a coma, and Loomis and Dr. Wynn visit her. And then midway through the film, a gothic montage occurs, which reveals in fragmented detail the conception of Jamie's child among the cult. After the sequence, an unseen person, later revealed to be Wynn, shoots the unconscious Jamie in the head with a silenced pistol. Additionally, John's scene in the producer's cut was shorter, and the director's cut was incorporated of his head graphically exploding from a power surge. Like I said, when that dude was electrocuted, when Michael pushed that dude into that fucking power box, and electrocuted him,
the
and
very
his head
beginning,
blew up. That wasn't the original thing. He just died.
Really? Oh, yeah. Dang.
So they changed it so that his head exploded.
Add more gore to it.
And Relic Raider says, if you ladies want to talk Ghostbusters, let me know. I've been refreshing my mind. Oh, hell yeah, girl. I'd be down with
So
that.
I told her, I
sometime.
go right on. I've seen them, but I don't know a lot of Ghostbuster knowledge. So, but I'll put my input in.
I would love to do more of this shit. I mean, I'd be totally up for that, Mel. Hell yeah, girl. But yeah, it did see it. Scream Factory actually gave the producer's cut of this in 2014 official release. And I don't think I ever want to see the producer's cut because it's just gonna be just as bad. It's not gonna save it. Makes things a little more sense, but it doesn't make it a better film.
So do I really want to rewatch that again, knowing that they had to go back and redo all that to try to make it make sense? No, it's not worth it.
No, so that, my friends, brings us to the end of that original timeline. So it started off amazing. It kind of veered off the beaten path with 3, and then kind of regained some footing with 4, but then fell flat in its face at the end, which was sad because now this series was pretty much heading to direct to video, which were most
horror movies go to
horror
die.
franchises go to die. Yes.
Look at Hellraiser.
Yes. And it was during the time between and after this, it was a time where actually Mustafa Akkad lost the rights to the Halloween franchise, and John Carpenter was trying to get those rights back. He probably got tired of watching his baby get all fucked up and ruined.
I mean, I would if after that whole raping thing, I'd be like, no, fuck this. Give me back my rights.
Yeah, it was just a huge swing and a miss, and they should never have done that. So, anyways, after that, they wrestled control. And, well, Miramax decided to keep it. So did Mustafa Akkad. And by this time, this is when Scream started becoming a big thing. And then you had I Know What You Did Last Summer. Scream kind of revitalized the horror movie franchise of slasher films. I to be honest with you, I haven't watched Scream in forever. I couldn't even tell you what it's about anymore. A lot of people love that movie. I was kind of
I liked it. I liked the first. The first 3 were pretty good, but
I saw the first 2. That's where I got. And I saw the first I Know What You Did Last Summer. So
see,
I mean,
I love that one more than I like Scream. I Know What You Did Last Summer.
Yeah, I actually did like that one. I actually did that one better. I thought that was my favorite one. So now with the popularity of those movies coming around, 1998 rolls around, and then they have the announcement that, Jamie Lee Curtis is coming back to do another installment of Halloween, which is going to be 1998's Halloween H2O 20 years later, which was released August 5th, 1998.
And that was the first Halloween I saw in theaters. I was a wee baby of 8 years old.
Yep. I saw this one in the theaters. Apparently, John Carpenter was also offered to come back, but he said he would only come back if he was paid $10 million. It was stuff for royalties that he felt he was owed from the other film that he didn't get. So he asked for this money, and they said, "Fuck you, we're not giving it to you." He said, "Well, all right, well, see you later, bye," and that was it.
Which kind of makes me sad because if he ever came back, I think it'd have been a hell of a lot better than what it was.
Oh, fuck yeah. H2O, as you know, totally. This is probably the first or second retcon of this entire series. It's a total change of everything. They totally do away with parts 4 to 6. That never happened. And this is the new timeline. This is a brand new timeline. This is the H2O timeline, which lasted the next. Well, here we go. Well, we get into that one. But anyways, see, now here we go. H2O was released. Jamie Lee Curtis comes back, which everybody got excited. Even I got excited.
I was happy for that.
Yeah, fuck yeah, Jamie Lee Curtis. Fuck, this is gonna be good. So we're gonna take a total about face. We're gonna redo everything with this franchise, and we're going to go do this. We're gonna do this the way we should. So in this film, there was no fucking daughter, no Jamie Lloyd, no Curse of Thorn. We did all away with that.
It pretty much took 1 and 2 and kept those, and that was it.
Jamie Lee Curtis, you don't mess with it all enough. So yeah, how about it? Fuck yeah, I agree with you on that one, Mel. That's totally understandable there. I totally give you props on that one. So this takes place. This is supposed to be taking place after Halloween 2.
Yeah.
So apparently the movie opens. You're in Nurse Chambers is back in this movie once again.
She's back.
Yep, she's back, and apparently she took care of her Dr. Loomis, which you don't even know how the fuck he survived that damn explosion once again. And the voice actor in that movie, who's supposed to be his voice, he actually did a bunch of voice acting. He did I do believe he did Obi-Wan Kenobi and some Star Wars stuff.
Oh, that's cool.
So apparently, you know, we don't know how Michael survived this. You don't know if he survives or not because Joseph Gordon-Levitt's in it. He's a kid in this movie.
Yep.
He's one of the kids that get killed. And again, Marion Chambers gets no love in this series. She gets offed so quickly. So she didn't last long in this movie either. She got offed. So Michael Myers finds out where Laurie Strode is. I do believe, yeah. Mel, I will actually wiki it for you real quick while we're doing it. So
Michael actually breaks into Marion Chambers' house looking for stuff about Laurie. Because she gets Jason Gordon-Levitt to go like check out why her house has been broken into, because like the light I think is like smashed or something, and she asks him to go in there and check it out, and that's when they find out that they don't know it's Michael, but someone had been to the house and had found the pictures and stuff of Laurie Strode, so it was Michael, you know.
Mel, the actor, I was kind of wrong. I was wrong on that, so I was wrong on this. He actually voiced Yoda and Admiral Yoda in the Clone Wars show. His name is Tom Kane. Did a lot of stuff. He did Powerpuff Girls movie. He did a bunch of shit, like cartoons and movies. He did some stuff in The Force Awakens. Yeah, so he did Aber Akbar in The Last Jedi. But yeah, he did a lot of. So yeah, so he did all that stuff. So now we don't know how the hell Michael survived that fucking fire. We don't know what. So he was just laying low for 20 years. God, nobody knows what the fuck he was doing all this time. So he finds that Laurie Strode is living under a police protection under a name Carrie Tate.
Yep.
So off to California. She's a teacher at a boarding school, and she's got PTSD.
She's got a son in this one.
She's like an overbearing mother. She doesn't like her son going out. She jumps into a lady who is her mother in real life, Janet Leigh, who played in Psycho. So yeah, that's when there's a scene where she's looking in the window and she turns around, it's a woman. That's actually Janet Leigh. That's her real life mother who played in Psycho. So Michael finds again. So we have no clue how he survived. And also, he looks like he was never burned.
No.
So he must have a very damn good plastic surgeon. So, anyways, we find out that he's there. LL Cool J's in this movie. He's an erotic, budding erotic writer.
He was a security guard, but his fucking character, I loved his character.
Josh Hartnett is in this movie, so he's probably one of his earlier films, and you can tell by I do feel by the stylings of this movie that they were totally trying to cater to the Scream audience.
Oh yeah.
And my thoughts is like this movie was okay, but to me it still had the worst acting of Michael Myers. I thought it was the worst portrayal of Michael Myers. I'm not knocking the actor. He was there to do a job. But to me, it was the worst interpretation of that character and the worst fucking mask in that thing. They were supposed to use this part, the 6 mask from 6.
Yeah.
But they never used it. And they actually used a CGI mask in that movie too. And I don't know if you knew that, Chris.
I didn't know that. I know it was CGI'd.
Yeah, there's a scene. I can probably show that. Where's that at? But yeah, it's a CGI mask.
Why would they do that? Come on, now. They
but
couldn't afford a mask.
apparently they didn't have the mask on hand. Stan Winston actually made a mask for that, but they used that and they used two different ones. I think I can show you this while we're on Zoom. I think you can actually show stuff on here, so you need to see this. It looks like bad PlayStation 1 graphics. They actually used a CGI mask in this movie, and it's so bad. Let me see if I can blow this shit up.
You can tell I haven't watched this one in a long time. I didn't realize that.
I knew that for a long, long time that they did this. It was so bad. Yeah. Plus, obviously, I don't like it when you see his eyes. That's the worst. That is the worst when they do this shit.
He's supposed to have the blackest of eyes. You're not supposed to see his eyes. Period.
Exactly. I can share a screen with you here. Let me show you. Okay, let me show you this real quick if I can get it up. Okay, can you see that?
Yes. Oh God.
That is a CGI mask.
Ah, you're right. Yeah, straight fucking bad. PlayStation 1 graphics.
Yeah, it's fucking terrible.
Oh, I hate that. I hate that.
I forget what scene that is in, but it's fucking bad. And so anyways, I think the best part was with the fight with Laurie and Michael. That was probably my favorite part of the movie. And obviously, one of Jamie Lee Curtis's stipulations for doing this movie was she wanted Michael Myers to be done. That was it. This was supposed to be the end of the movie. Now, Mustafa Akkad had this fucking clause to where he couldn't die because he took control of the fucking franchise again, and that was, so he took control of the franchise. And yeah, so again, that's what fucked everything up. So
just let the man die. Let him die.
Yeah, let the fucking guy go, And so anyway, it did. She chopped his fucking head off.
But was it him? Was it him? Was it him? Yeah. No. It wasn't him.
It was supposed to be.
It was supposed to be him.
It was originally supposed to be him.
But it wasn't.
Yeah, that gets into the shit fest. That's the next movie. Operation Streaming Fest, what's going on? Welcome in. How are you doing, buddy? I know the stream quality is probably not top notch right now. We're working on that. It's dumb. But actually, at the time, this was the highest grossing Halloween film in the franchise. It grossed $75 million.
That's because Jamie Lee Curtis came back. They all wanted to see Jamie and Laurie and Michael again. Mm-hmm. I mean, I will say I liked the ending of it because of the twist. I don't like that he was still alive, but she chops his head off. You think it's Michael. And then you find out that the dude, my thing is, if you have any knowledge of fucking Michael Myers, well, I guess they wouldn't because it's in California. Mm-hmm. But I wouldn't have leaned over that fucking body bag to get close enough to him where he could freaking choke me to death and change my clothes with me.
Oh God, yeah. See, that was the dumbest explanation that they made for that movie. It was explained into the next film. Now the series lay dormant for another 4 years, and now we get Halloween Resurrection, released in 2002. Now they brought back fucking Rick Rosenthal, who did part 2 in 81, and you would think that, hey, it's
gonna be decent.
Yeah, because he did Halloween 2. Jamie Lee Curtis is back too for some god unknown reason, but her stipulation was that she was only going to do this movie if her character was killed off.
Yeah, she wanted to die in this one because she wanted nothing to do with it no more.
Yep, exactly. So what they did, anyways, they filmed this movie, and Busta Rhymes in this fucking, oh God, this movie's fucking terrible. So apparently, it was explained in part in Resurrection that Laurie Strode, you thought chopped off Michael Myers' head, but that never happened. That never happened. What happened was Michael Myers choked the shit out of some dude and crushed his voice box. He passed out, put him in a body bag and put his mask and shit on. Michael Myers then dressed up as an ambulance guy and walked away. Meanwhile, there's this dude who's unconscious with his crushed voice box, can't speak, and it was so fucking dumb how that was explained. And again, from H2O, he was never burned. There wasn't a fucking mark on him. And how did his eyeballs come back?
Supernatural powers, girl.
Yeah, like his eyeballs just magically came back.
It is regenerated.
God, and he had no burns on him whatsoever.
Not a single burn.
Like, so apparently,
at least Donald Pleasance had burns on him, How the hell did he?
That was about it. And his face wrapped up in bandages. So of course, hey, okay, I can handle that. But yeah. So
Ellie goes, the Busta Rhymes karate part makes movie 10 out of 10. He was like, top mean quality. I'm like, you're right, it is a mean quality film. It's god awful, but it has good memes in it. Because I'm fucking Busta Rhymes karate. Oh, and what's her name? The model girl. Tara Banks. She's in it. Now, this one you could really tell that they were really, really trying to cater to the Scream franchise fans. And I Know What You Did Last Summer, because it's like, basically they go into the Myers. It's a reality television show that they set up to go and do it. And, I mean, this is when early internet, back in, was it 2002? That one was done?
Yeah, 2002 came out.
Yeah, so AOL dial-up and all that shit, and internet was just becoming a thing, really. And they had like a TV series that you could watch, and it had all the kids in the cameras, bodysuits.
Dangertainment.
Yeah, Dangertainment. I was like, dude, it tried to cater to the youth of the early 2000s with all that.
What happened is now, because you did the whole sister brother angle, Michael Myers is now in a box. And no, Streaming Fist, it's just my internet's a fucking joke, and it's being stupid tonight. So there's really nothing more I can do, unfortunately. So it's just a drop periodically, and it's just gonna cut out because my internet's being stupid tonight for some reason. My internet company sucks, and I can't do anything about it. So sorry about that, pal. But thank you for coming. I do appreciate that. I hope you can kind of put up with it. Hopefully it gets a little better. But anyways, yeah, so basically you now put Michael Myers in a box. And then now that he's killed off Laurie Strode, he has no more purpose.
He doesn't.
It's over. All this movie did was put a generic horror film. All you did was put a generic horror film plot and threw Michael Myers in it.
Pretty much.
And then you have Busta Rhymes kung fuing the shit out of fucking Michael, it's so bad it's good. That's what I think about Resurrection. It's so bad it is good. I hope so, Streaming Fist, because this sucks. I don't like being fucking choppy and shit. It's not good. But anyways, also he electrocutes Michael Myers' balls, which is hilarious. And you go, oh, and he falls back and he gets electrocuted. This movie was fucking terrible. The blonde girl and here's a little bit of trivia. The blonde hair girl that gets killed. I don't know if y'all remember the early '90s teenage drama soap opera called 15 on Nickelodeon.
I remember that one.
She played like the neck girl next door. And yeah, I remember that. Yeah, because there used to be a soap opera called 15. She's in that. So, and of course they get the Myers house wrong again, and it doesn't look anything like the Michael Myers house.
Looks like a fucking shack.
So he just it's like, I only ever saw Halloween. Streaming Fist says I only ever saw Halloween 2 with my brother. We were so pumped by the part where he walks through the glass door. That was Halloween 281's great.
It's It's good.
Still a great member of that friend. That's where for a lot of people that ended. So, um, but one thing I will say though that was kind of unique with Halloween Resurrection. This was actually Halloween Resurrection was released July 12th. Why would you release that in fucking summer? Like not even near Halloween, for God's sakes.
I mean, at least the
Um,
newer ones have been released in October, because Halloween time, where it should
H2O was
be.
released in August, so it's like so. Anyway, the one thing I found unique about Resurrection was the fact of Rick Rosenthal actually filmed 4 different endings. So each theater would get a different ending. So if I went in my town and I saw this ending, I could go to another town and watch it and get a different ending. I thought that was unique,
That's cool.
but it didn't. It still was a shit movie. It wasn't good. It's like, oh my god, this movie was god awful. It's terrible. Why? So, anyways, once again, this timeline was another huge swing and a miss. It made 37 million at the box office. It was not a good film. It's so bad it's good.
The only
But
good
it's
part
not.
about it was when Lori told Michael, "I'll see you in hell," and she gave him a kiss and she fell. That was the
So
only good part about it.
yeah, you could have just watched the first 15 minutes of this shit fest, and it would have been fine with me. I would have been done. But it's so bad because like she's in a fucking mental hospital because she's all felt guilty about
Killing the guy.
axing axing that dude in a fucking. Well, I guess I'd be kind of even more peace. I would even have more, issues. Not only for your brother's chasing after you and not dead, but now you killed
You
somebody
killed an innocent
that was
man.
like an innocent bystander. So anyways, yeah, this movie was a shit fest. It was pretty much ended the H2O timeline. That timeline went to another swing and a miss, and there was no good landing.
I said
So
it really catered to the youth of the time because I mean Tara Banks was in it. Young girls were into the was it the Project? I think maybe Project Runway was going on at that point in time, or she was just
it
getting her
might have
footing.
been.
She was just getting her footing, and that she was catering to the younger females. And then you had Busta Rhymes. That's what that 2002 was his prime, where he was, a famous rapper, and people listened to his music. So it catered to
I
the
actually
youth.
liked his character, to be honest with you. I like him better than LL Cool J's
Yeah,
character, to be completely honest with you.
they were both fucking campy, and I think that's why I liked it so much because they were both campy characters, and they
Oh,
made you laugh.
definitely.
And like to me, those two guys were probably the best parts of the films as far as like story wise. Because when LL
Mhm.
Cool J was arguing with his wife in Resurrection about him being working and all that, and he's on the phone with her, and I couldn't help but fucking laugh. I was like, I love this. And then of course Busta Rhymes with the kung fu moves, and I mean
Oh god,
he's
that's
got
hilarious.
balls to shock Michael Myers in the balls. Good for you, sir.
Trick or treat, motherfucker.
That was the best. That was like
It
the.
was so bad, it's good.
I mean, I will say you could probably get me to watch H2 and Resurrection over 5 and 6. I can watch those two because I can get good and
I
drunk.
agree with you on that. I can agree with you on that. I could probably, I would definitely watch H2 and Resurrection over those two abominations of film.
Those are
And
good drinking movies to watch. Get drunk and just laugh, or have you a good smoke and then just laugh your ass off at them.
right on. So after Halloween Resurrection ended, the series laid again dormant for 5 years. So
Oh
there was
no.
much talk about what's gonna happen. Apparently, Mustafa Akkad, right before he passed, put a poll on the official website of what fans wanted from the franchise. That's how bad they needed ideas. They needed the fans to come up with ideas for the next movie. Well, in 2005, unfortunately, Mustafa Akkad was tragically killed along with his daughter in an Al Qaeda attack. So, he may have fucked up he may have made some pretty bad. I may not agree with all his decisions, but he did, he did, pave the way. He did finance this franchise and got it started. If it wasn't for him, we never would have had this. So, big ups to him. That's awesome. So now we needed a new direction. and in walks Rob Zombie.
I'm gonna go get a beer right back. I'm gonna have to
so,
drink to talk about these two.
So I'm gonna grab a quick drink and a potty break while Chris is there. So we're gonna be right back. So hold on, we'll be right back.
Oh yeah, guys, I'm sorry. I have to get a beer to talk about the Rob Zombie films. They're up there with 5 and 6 in the uh Halloween trilogy for me. Now, keep in mind how these Halloweens we're about to talk about are an alternate universe. These do not correlate with the original timeline of the original Halloweens. Rob Zombie really wanted to revamp it and do it his own way. I'm not a fan of Rob Zombie's films. I like those House for a Thousand Corpses, all them, but I don't like the fact that Rob Zombie always puts his wife in films, and I don't like that every time Rob Zombie does something, it's always spun into a trailer park trash white kind of thing. That's Molten. What? Go ahead. You know, my stream is not sponsored by Angry Orchards, but it's sponsored tonight. But as far as Rob Zombie's other films, House with a Thousand Corpses, 13, they're great. They are Rob Zombie's style films. Rob Zombie should have never touched Halloween. I will say that maybe the first one is somewhat decent, but I'm not going to get too much into it until Minnie gets back. But I'm not happy with them. I'm not happy with them. Could you get me to watch them over 5 and 6? Maybe. Maybe the first one. Absolutely not the fucking second one, though. But I hope you guys are all having a good night. I had to get a beer because I should have got a beer when I talked about 5 and 6. I really should have. But I didn't. Excuse me, I didn't. 5 and 6 also needed a beer to drink to talk about them, but too invested and being disappointed in how bad those were. But guys, if you guys can hear me on Mindy's side as well, I hope you guys are having an awesome night. I know Mindy gave the one earlier. A wild chungus has appeared. I know Mindy gave the one earlier, but we are going to be talking about the new Halloween films as well after we talk about the Rob Zombie films. So if you have not watched the 2018 Halloween or Halloween Kills, which came out this month, there will be spoilers at the end of this video. I'm just letting you guys know that if you don't want the spooky spoilers from the newer films, that's just a heads up. When are we going to play the new Dark Anthology game? It don't come out until the 24th, I think. Or is the 20th? Or did it come out today? Oh, poop. I'll probably stream that tomorrow. I thought it came out on the 24th for some reason. Oh yeah, it's sour. But yeah, I'll probably play that tomorrow, Ellie. I'm glad you said something, because I sure didn't realize it was out already. Kept thinking it was the 24th that came out. I didn't hear if you applied my... Oh. I told you go ahead. If you want to redeem some hydration points, because my poor water bottle's already out. That's another reason I came and got this. But no, I'll probably play... Don't redeem all of them now. Oh wait, that's 2. thank you, thank you. Oh, it's sour. It's good though. But yeah, Ellie, I'll play that tomorrow for you guys. I'll buy it tonight and download it. Make sure I download it, and I'll play that tomorrow so we have a game to play, because I didn't know I was going to play tomorrow. But we're going to play House of Ashes tomorrow. I'll chug it for a sub. Then I'll chug it.
And we are back. Thank you
Welcome
for waiting
back.
around. Guys, I want to apologize again for the less than stellar internet connection on my end. This kind of sucks. And thank you, Zito Media, for your awesome service and your amazing service. Because without you guys, I couldn't do this stream. Total sarcasm in that. Also,
Asshats.
oh man, I love my internet company.
Girl, I thought they fixed it for you.
Give me fiber optic shit.
That's what I'm saying. I thought they fixed it for you, or they just haven't done it yet.
No, it just keeps saying it's not I'm on Twitch's page and it keeps saying it's unstable. And I've already had to restart my stream like 3 times already.
Jeez.
Oh Lord. Yeah, it keeps buffering really bad. That could be because I'm watching it too. Maybe it'll improve. So guys, what I did was I just took it off. Like maybe because I'm running Zoom and this at the same time, it might be fucking it up.
Well, you tell me how your legally play game is, and tell me if it's good or not tomorrow. Before I start playing it, but don't give me no spoilers.
Mute. What the fuck did I do there? Oh, she put herself on mute.
I put myself on mute.
I'm hoping maybe the stream will look better now. Maybe it'll look better now. Hopefully, that I took it off of mute and everything's not as crappy as before. But anyways, we're ready to go into the fun part of this franchise. Chris looks real ready for this. She even got a fucking alcohol for this stuff. So this is how bad it's gonna get.
I should have got it for 5 and 6, but these really need it.
Now you got Chris drinking, because this is where like she needs a drink for this. So now in 2007, we need a new direction, and we need a new because apparently this series was now once again ready to go back into direct-to-video to market because of the horrible fucking shit it's making. So anyway, which brings us to a new direction, which is Rob Zombie. Rob Zombie comes in, and now he's doing this franchise. Apparently, according to him, he was called in by Miramax, by the Weinsteins, and they basically said, Halloween, what do you think about it? And he's like, it's a great fucking movie. I like it. They wanted him to do it. So, but the thing is, like, after Mustafa passed away, his son Malik took over everything. But his son Malik was actually more, do what you want.
He really didn't have a tight reign over it like his dad did.
Dude, Malik basically said, have fun, go to town.
Which was kind of maybe a little bit of a mistake. With Rob Zombie.
So Rob Zombie basically was going to make this into 2 movies. Originally this was going to be 2 films. The first film was going to be Michael Myers' origins, and the second was going to be like after he gets out. So, as you know, this is pretty much a retelling. Now, to watch this movie, you really need to take every preconceived notion you've had about the franchise and toss it out the window, because once you watch this movie, that's the only way you might get some enjoyment out of this installment, because you need to check all preconceived notions of what you knew about this franchise at the fucking door, because now this movie just eschews everything, the entire fucking everything, even the first film, because this is now an all new timeline. So basically, if you know Rob Zombie, you know his style. He's House of a Thousand Corpses, Devil's Rejects,
13.
13. I don't even know if he made 13 by the time Halloween came out.
No, 13. Well, 13 is more of his recent films, but it's still got that grungy white trash Rob Zombie feel to it.
So now Michael Myers now has a backstory. This is what I had the biggest problem with is when you give Michael Myers a backstory, you give him a motive, or you give him a target. But if you, more importantly, you give him a backstory, you now take away his mystique. You take away the mystique, and you take away the reason he's called the Shape. I don't want him to have some sort of fucking backstory. I want him to be like he was some 6-year-old kid, and he just somehow snapped and became
What he is.
what he is. He was just pure evil.
Like
the way Dr. Loomis put it out there, he's pure and
evil.
simply evil. That's what I like my Shape to be. But no, we now come into 19 something, and Michael Myers is a little boy in a white trash family who has an abusive stepfather. His mom's a fucking stripper. And it's quite obvious there's something on with little Michael because he's now cutting up rats in his
killing small animals in the woods.
And if you really want to hear the original treatment of how this film was supposed to go, apparently Michael Myers was pleasuring himself over the corpse of his dead rat while he's cutting him. This was supposed to be in the original script of this movie. So apparently Michael's got some issues. Dr. Loomis is a part of the school. He looks in. Apparently, the bullies are picking on Michael, and he's now, he not only got in trouble, they find a dead cat in his book bag. So there's all sorts of problems. His sister, he's pissed off his sister never took him trick or treating, so he wipes out his entire family.
Except his mom.
Except for his mom and his little sister.
Boo.
Or Angel Myers, which is revealed later on. But, so anyways, Michael Myers gets taken to a mental hospital, and he has no recollection of what happened. They don't know. They don't know what happened to him. He has no recollection. He doesn't even realize he did it. But I do like his kind of. This is part of the film that I do kind of like. I like his slow descent. Like he's talking and he's like a kid, but then as time wore on, all he's doing was wearing masks, and he's not
talking at all.
Yeah, and so he starts regressing and starts becoming degenerative, and he starts descending into this, and he wipes out that fucking nurse. So Deborah Myers finally sees her son for what he truly is, which is a monster, and she can't take it no more, and she offs herself.
Yep.
So I do not like how Laurie Strode is portrayed. I don't like her having pretend sex with a bagel. That was dumb. So you have Laurie Strode, who's supposed to be this sweet, innocent girl next door, and now being like, what? And doing sexual shit with a bagel. So, now she's got her friends Annie and Linda, which, Annie was portrayed by none other than Danielle Harris. She comes back.
She came back.
This movie. So she comes back for that. So, anyway, this is where the movie now becomes almost a shot-for-shot remake of the original film in some aspects.
Yep.
And Dr. Loomis basically gives up on Michael, and because he can't do no more, he leaves. But this very same day, he Myers pretty much tells Michael he wants nothing more to do with him, and what else? For some reason, in 15 years' time, Michael Myers comes from a small little blonde-haired child to a 7-foot-tall hulking monster of
fucking
a man.
Tank. He is a tank.
And this is the part where this is the part I wasn't down with, and so this is the part I really wasn't down with, like where the part where the people who work in the hospital were trying to have their way rape a mental patient in Michael Myers' room. Yeah, I really wasn't down with that. But I really like Danny Trejo's character. He was cool.
Yeah.
And the part where And like
He was the only one that was nice to
Michael
Michael.
does not is indiscriminate. He kills
He
everybody.
don't give a fuck.
Even like he, and that's that line. Me and my friends, I saw it in the theater. Me and my friend were like completely just repeating that line. I was good to you, Mikey, and
He was. He was the only one nice to Michael. Mike
I
was
was
like,
good to
"Fuck
you,
you."
Mikey. And
He's like, "I don't give a fuck." Everyone getting their ass whooped today.
so, anyways, it now becomes almost a shot-for-shot remake. And man, the way Rob Zombie portrays his female victim characters, half of them are naked. I'm not trying to sound anything weird, but they're all naked and helpless. He definitely treats his male characters better than his female. I'm not trying to sound political or nothing, but it definitely shows. And
He made
so
them the
Annie actually
stereotypical girls.
survives her attack. She survives the attack of Michael Myers. You don't really know that till the second movie, but we'll get into that. But
We gotta talk about the second one.
oh goodness
That
gracious,
fucking
that's
acid
gonna be a fun
trip.
one.
It's acid trip.
So anyways, Michael starts his rampage. He basically kills Laurie's parents too.
Yep.
On top of this, and so he carries off Laurie. He doesn't kill Laurie. He takes him to this spot, a little secret place. Takes his mask off, puts his knife down, shows her a picture of him and her, but she don't even know who the fuck he is. So of course Michael's getting shot several fucking times, and so chaos ensues, and it almost becomes like a shot-for-shot a shot-for-shot remake of the original. He crushes. You think Dr. Loomis is dead. He kind of cracks his skull or something. So Laurie runs away. And so, anyways, after that, they fall off this balcony, and Laurie puts a bullet. It apparently puts a bullet in Michael's head, and that's about the end of the film. Film over. There was some good stuff. I mean, like I said, there was some interesting stuff in that movie, but again, it's just
the bad outweighs the good.
Yeah, it's just I don't dig that fucking raping women and like shit like that.
And then mental patients at that. I'm just like, come on, man.
Yeah, and I just don't like the whole. Michael Myers is not supposed to be a 7-foot tall hulking monster.
He turned into a fucking bodybuilder.
I don't get into that.
Like, did he lift weights and stuff on the rec yard or something to get pumped up? Because I'm like, he did prison time, I guess. To get that big.
Yeah. What the fuck he was doing? Jesus Christ. It actually didn't, and again, this regarding all this was released August 31st of 2007. It was actually the longest Halloween movie in the franchise, almost 2 hours long. So it was the longest movie in the franchise. It actually then became the highest grossing Halloween film at that time with $80 million domestically. So it did really, really, really well. My opinion is, while I respect Rob Zombie for wanting to do something different with the franchise and take it to a new direction, and he did have a point. He did say, if it wasn't for me, this series would be back to be direct to video. And I hate to say it, but he's right.
Yeah, he is right about that.
He was very right about that, I think. And so that was there some good stuff? Yeah. The kills were brutal. I don't like that you give Michael I don't like Michael Myers becoming like this product of society. Like, oh, it's so cliche. Like, oh well, I was abused. I have a bad family, blah blah blah, bullied. So I'm taking my problem. I don't see that cliche.
It didn't fit Michael.
You have now taken the mystery of it away, and you just made him now a generic serial killer.
The best way I can put it is they humanized Michael Myers.
Yeah.
And I mean,
you're right, exactly right.
I was like, yeah, in the 1978 film, him, just that. What made Michael so scary as a child, or in this the film itself, is he was a 6-year-old child that a switch just flipped and he killed his sister, and that's real. That can happen. There's a lot of people that happens to.
I agree.
And it doesn't get explained. So it leaves you, the audience, the watcher, to try to figure out, why did this happen? Why did this switch just click in him and he turned into this monster? Rob Zombie gave you his whole fucking backstory from point A to point B. This is why he is, and it just humanized him so
Yeah,
much towards, like, he's like anybody else.
yeah, and that's it, it. Just makes him a generic killer, you know.
If I want that, I'll go watch a Ted Bundy film or something. I'll watch one
Right,
of them.
right. So it did well. The movie did actually really well. It was then the highest grossing film in the franchise. And so, of course, the powers that be wanted another film.
Which he
And
actually didn't want to do. He really didn't want to make a second one.
no, he did not. He actually was against it. He did not want to make a second film. He felt that he said what he needed to say, and he didn't want. They actually, I forget who they hired, but they actually um, hired a pair of directors. I don't know who the hell they were. I can't think of the name, but but then they decided against it. They didn't do it, and so they brought Rob Zombie back, and under the pretense where they were pretty much told, have fun, go to town, do what you want, and that's what we get is Halloween 2. Um,
Oh,
it's hard to explain this movie. This movie feels like one big Rob Zombie video.
it's
It's
like
a
a music
music
video, like an acid trip. It makes no
it takes
sense.
the first part of this one was when the fuck was this released? This was released August 28th, 2009, and so basically, it takes you think it takes place the day after the events of the first film. No, it really doesn't. It doesn't take it. It does
A
because
couple years later, ain't it?
Lori. They pick up Lori. She's all bloody and. But before we go into that, the first one thing I want to add about the first movie was I did like the scene where she's trying to shoot Michael in the head. She's on top of him. She's got the gun to his head, and he grabs her hand.
Yeah.
Now, Rob Zombie actually made that intentionally open ended. Like you didn't know whether he was trying to stop her or was he steadying her hand so she could finish the job and take him to town. He intentionally did. He's like, that's why I did it. So you guys can draw
Let
your
you
own
think.
conclusions to that.
I'm not gonna lie. I do like the scene where he whoops the kid in the woods with a stick.
Yeah, that was cool. That was a neat one.
That was one of the brutal murders I liked.
But he had Brad Dourif on there too. He's a good actor.
He
I like
is.
Brad Dourif.
Old Chucky.
Yeah, Chucky. He was in I forget what the fuck else he did, but yeah, he was in that. But yeah, he had some great fucking. What the hell's his name? Fuck, I can't think of his goddamn name. Well, Brad Dourif was also in Lord of the Rings. Did all sorts of fun shit. Who the fuck was I? Can't think of that fucking guy's name. Hold on one second. I'm really kind of curious. William Forsythe. Yeah. I actually met William Forsythe. He's the one that played the stepdad, the white trash stepdad
Okay,
in
yeah.
Halloween. William Forsythe. I was actually at a con that we were at, and it was the premiere of the movie that I was in, and we did, and he was there because William Forsythe actually played Flat Top in Dick Tracy as well.
Did
Dick
he
Tracy
really?
movie.
Oh.
Yeah, so the guys at our booth snuck beer and they were drinking alcohol, and he walked by, he goes, "You guys got the right idea." I was like, "Hell yeah!" So, anyways, it kind of picks up after the second again. You don't, and Lori's picked up by the end, and it's in gruesome detail what they're fixing, how they're fixing her. Michael gets loaded up into a ambulance, and within 10 minutes of the film, we are now listening to two ambulance drivers talk about fucking a dead body. Yeah, that's
Rob Zombie film.
wonderful, wonderful. So now the van hits a cow, and wakes Michael Myers up from his unconscious. We don't even know. Apparently, she missed. That was Rob Zombie saying, "Well, maybe she was just bad aim and she missed." That's exactly what he said. So, anyways, Michael wakes up from his slumber, then decides, okay, well, he goes to the hospital, starts wiping people out, and gets to Lori, and it's all a fucking dream. It was never fucking happened. And now we're going to go into this white horse bullshit.
The fucking table, the Halloween feast bullshit.
Yeah, because so you start seeing it actually says something about a white horse in the beginning of the film. You're like, what the fuck are you talking about? Well, this starts becoming a plot device, and it was a last minute plot device. It was not intended to be in the movie until last minute. Rob Zombie was driving somewhere. He saw a white horse in the field, and it inspired him to put this in the fucking movie. So now you have Laurie Strode now living with Annie and Sheriff Brackett's house. Laurie Strode is now a rock chick who looks like Rob Zombie.
Yep.
So,
yep. She sure does.
She works at a record store. Her and Annie are not getting along. And so now Dr. Loomis apparently survives, but now he's a huge asshole. Writes a second book. He's a fucking dick. And now Michael Myers is a fucking hobo walking around like with a hoodie. Apparently, it fits a 7-foot tall man. It just descends into madness and weirdness. What's going on, Hugs? How you doing, lady? Good to
Not
see
to
you,
mention,
my love.
he
Thank you
sees
for
his
stopping
mom.
in, girl. How are you? Good to see you, baby doll. Thank you for stopping in, baby. Appreciate you having you here.
Then
Much love to you.
His mom is in these fucking dream-esque scenes, leading the horse.
Oh fuck! This was terrible. This was fucking terrible. This is one big thing of madness with this stupid buffet table. These goblins and Lori's at the fucking table, and Lori. It's like one big Rob Zombie video, and so apparently Michael finds out, and it's just again this time kills Annie Brackett. And this is the one part in the movie that I did not mind because Brad Dourif acts his fucking ass off in this scene. When he finds that Annie is actually dead. Yeah, he actually killed her this time. And the pain that he is going through in that movie was actually really good. And he acted his fucking ass off in that scene. That was actually good.
Yeah.
So, anywho, so Lori's seeing shit, and so she's at this party, and this fucking dude who's telling jokes is getting way too much screen time as it is, and it just descends into fucking madness. And so Michael's on the chase again, and basically ends up, depending on what you watched, he kills Dr. Loomis.
Yeah.
And so if you watch the theatrical version, it kills Dr. Loomis. Sheriff Brackett puts a headshot into Michael Myers, kills him apparently, and he gets plugged pretty much by a bunch of everybody. So Laurie Strode just walks out of the barn they're in. She's wearing his mask and got a knife. And then the ending scene where you see her sitting in a mental institution and sees a vision of that fucking white horse and Sherry Moon Zombie. Now, if you watch the alternate ending, that happens. Loomis gets killed. So does Michael Myers. So Laurie walks out with the mask on, not the mask on, with the knife, ready to stab Dr. Loomis, and she gets shot to death and killed by the police.
Yep.
So now everybody's fucking dead.
The end.
Now and then you see her just sitting there with the white horse bullshit. That's all you need to know about this fucking film. It was freaking terrible. It sucked. It's another one of them, just like Halloween 5, where I'll never watch this film again, and I'm done. I watched it once. I almost walked out of the theater. It was that fucking bad. I couldn't take it anymore. And so, yeah, it didn't do well either. It tanked at the fucking box office. Thank God.
I've only seen the zombie films once each, and once was enough. Like, people have asked me to rewatch them, and I'm like, God, no, pick something else. They're like, but you like Halloween. I'm like, this is not Halloween. We're not watching this. This is a Rob Zombie film. I don't want to watch Rob Zombie films tonight.
If you like the film, good on you. I mean, if you like his vision of things, good on you.
I
I'm
got
not
no,
gonna judge
yeah.
you for
I'm
that.
not gonna say you have shit taste or nothing. I mean, but
This fucking
you like it. I don't.
movie fucking sucks. That movie's the worst fucking movie ever. I mean, again, I will watch Halloween. I will watch Resurrection over watching fucking 5, 6, and
The Rob Zombie
friggin'
films.
Rob Zombie's Halloween 2.
If you ask
I'll
me,
watch Halloween 1. I don't. I
oh
can
yeah.
watch that again but not forced to watch it. Not like if someone was watching it, I'll watch it. Halloween 2, I will not. I refuse. No, I won't watch that.
See, I'll
That's a
watch.
trash movie.
Wait, Halloween 2 is a trash movie?
Halloween 2 2009 is a trash movie.
Oh yeah, no, yeah, we gotta know.
Yeah, we don't talk. Yeah, 81 is awesome.
About to say, wait a minute now.
Again, this is where the franchise falls apart once again. That's the end of the Rob Zombie timeline.
Which that's a plus.
Thank goodness he's done, and apparently, and this is funny. Apparently, Dominique Girard, the director of 5, accused Rob Zombie of copying him for Halloween 2. Yeah.
What?
Yeah, he apparently accused him of copying him.
Where?
He thinks that he accused him of using his idea to make Halloween 2. Yep.
What a fucking idiot.
Yeah. And,
don't get me wrong. I don't like neither of them, but Rob Zombie's 2 was a shit show, but it's better than what Dominique did.
Oh God, I mean,
they're both shitty.
Apparently John Carpenter wasn't too happy because he thought that apparently some conversation that apparently what's his nuts had, like, apparently Rob Zombie said he had a conversation with John Carpenter about this series, to which Carpenter basically said, yeah, that never happened, I never talked about that. So yeah, so then apparently after the whole debacle of that, so they tried to do a 3D movie. So he was going to decline. They wanted him to come back to do 3.
He's like, no.
They were going to try to do more movies in that universe.
2's enough. 2's enough. 2 is too many.
So they were going to do Halloween 3D. And it will be released in 2010. It was supposed to retroactively establish Laurie to have killed Loomis instead of Michael. The film was ultimately canceled, and Bob and Harvey Weinstein decided to greenlight and prioritize Scream 4 instead. So, and now that lays the end of the zombie trilogy, which thankfully, thank God, that was terrible. In 2016, Blumhouse Pictures acquired the rights to the franchise. And this is where we start going into this. So, guys, if you are just tuning in, thank you all for watching. Do appreciate it. Again, I do apologize for all the internet problems we are having tonight. It's not fun. I'm not liking this a lot. So just remember, though, I will be posting this stuff on YouTube. So if you guys chance it. Now, we are going to get into Halloween Kills in this timeline because, and I want to warn you, we are going to, if you are just joining us for this, we are going to give spoilers. So if you do not want to hear spoilers, it's not that I don't want to shove anyone away, but if you don't want spoilers, you might not want to watch the end of this because it's going to get spoiler intensive. So now in 2016, Blumhouse Films decides to redo the franchise once again. This time, instead of trying to make sense of other things, they've now decided to do another retcon of the series, which now totally does away with Halloween 2 from 1981, and this will be their sequel to the first Halloween, which is called Halloween, because I guess it was been stupid to call it H40 instead of H20. And this was directed by David Gordon Green, written by Danny McBride, Jeff Fadley, and David Gordon Green. So this one not only brings back, once again, Jamie Lee Curtis, but John Carpenter also comes back to executive produce and write music with his sons. Now, obviously, this movie is a supposed to be presented as a direct sequel to the 2018 movie, 2007, the 78 film. I'm sorry. Um, so in this timeline, two never happened. Michael Moore, not brother and sister. They're not even related. So, um, apparently, after Loomis shot Michael Myers, he was arrested and thrown into the fucking
Looney bin.
asylum. And he had these two podcasters who are like want to interview him.
Yeah, criminal podcasters are like obsessed with him.
Michael Myers is now a 60-some-year-old man, and this scene was awesome. This scene was so fucking chilling when they're in that fucking out in the yard and they're talking.
Yes.
And as soon as they brought the mask out, everybody in the
crazy people went nuts,
start freaking out and shit.
Dogs started barking and acting up.
Yep, this one I feel explores more of the premise that Michael Myers is a force of evil. There is no backstory. He's a force of evil. And that scene where he pulls out the fucking mask and everybody in the loony bins go, ooh, like barking at the moon and shit. That was fucking creepy.
It was so good.
And you know it's on.
It was good.
And they brought that theme back. I'm in the theater going, yes, thank you. And so obviously, Laurie Strode is very deeply traumatized to the point where she now has a compound. She's
bad bitch.
She's learned self-defense, and she has PTSD, and again, an alcoholic in this one too.
Yeah.
So her daughter wants nothing to do. She has a daughter, not Jamie Lloyd, want nothing to do with her. So they
Karen.
They got Karen, who also has a daughter. So they won't let her see Laurie Strode either. So, and I think it's funny when they're walking through the film, her and her friends are walking, and they're like, "Is it true they're like brother and sister?" Like, no, that's just some urban myth or something.
Yeah.
So it's like, I like how they did that.
That was good, the way they kind of retconned the brother sister thing.
So Michael escapes again. Apparently, the doctor who took over for Dr. Loomis is there. He took him out. He actually let them escape, and all sorts of fun shit ensues. And this was a good movie. This was really good. First Halloween movie. I walked out pumped. I'm like, oh my god, this was fucking good.
It gave me hope for the Halloween franchise when I first saw this. Like, if you watch the originals, the throwbacks that they have in this film, like when Laurie's granddaughter is sitting in class and they're talking about fate. It's the same shit that Laurie Strode was listening to in class in the 1978 film about fate and stuff. And when she looks out the window, it's Laurie instead of Michael.
Yep, I love that.
I loved it.
And did you know that the teacher that's off screen, you know who she is? That's PJ Souls.
Is it really?
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
Souls.
Oh,
yep,
shit.
That's the teacher in the background, the faceless teacher.
Oh man.
Yeah, that was really neat. Like, I liked how they recreated that scene and she looks out and it's Laurie and not Michael.
I loved it. It gave me chills. I was like, ah.
And that scene where the podcasters are in there in the bathroom, and he walks up and just pulls his hand out and opens up, and the fucking teeth fall out.
The fucking teeth.
And that dude's face is smashed into the fucking counter. Oh god, that was just nasty.
It was fucking brutal.
Damn. So and anyways, back to the film, and so they're doing. So it's all pandemonium again, and Laurie finds out that the bus crashed that had Michael. They're taking Michael to a maximum security prison because he didn't want to be and you know how that worked out the first time that happened. So.
I wouldn't want to be a CO at the prison that Michael Myers got put at. I'd have to resign. I'd be like, no, I'm good, thanks.
Yeah, I would leave. I'm like, no, thank you. I don't think I want to deal with this guy. But so anyways, Laurie finds out, and all hell breaks loose. Michael's taking out people left and right. I like how he killed the one lady, but didn't touch them. As soon as he walked through the baby carriage, just kind of pieced out after that.
Hey, looked down at the baby and was like,
Didn't, nah, I'm doing that. I don't do that shit.
But have you noticed Michael never
walked out.
Michael never really kills kids though.
That's all. He does kill kids. He kills kids he kills a kid in the fucking in this movie. He kills that little boy.
This is the first child he's ever actually killed. Because I mean, in all the other Halloween films, he's never touched a child, like killed a kid, except for this one. But I think the only reason he killed this kid was because the kid had a gun. The kid had a weapon that he could have used against him.
And Mel, thank you for stopping in. I do appreciate it. You guys have a great time this weekend.
Good night, Mel.
You and Johnny have a good time. Stay safe. Take care of yourselves. Have a great night, girl. See ya.
I do feel bad for the boy he kills in that film. All he wanted to do was dance.
That's one thing I like about this timeline. It's like you actually care about the people he fucking kills in this movie. It's like you feel bad for them. That fucking poor kid, the Oscar character, like that fucking dude. I felt bad for him because like he tried to kiss Allison and she rejected him, and he got caught in the searchlights, and Michael stabs him and then impales his face in that fucking fence. Oh man, that was brutal.
After he thought it was like the neighbor, which in a way the boy was kind of scummy though, because Allison already had saw her boyfriend kiss another girl, and then he was drunk and he tried to profess her love to him or to her. And I'm like, all right, that's kind of scummy, my guy. But I felt bad when he like.
True. I agree.
He kind of professed, like, he was like, I'm sorry, Mr. Whoever. He's like, I want to get out. He's like, you ever been in love or been like someone and they just don't feel the same way? And Michael's just standing there in the dark while he's professing his little heart to him. And then he realizes he's in trouble. And then he gets impaled. Man,
that's horrible. I remember, too, like, they had, who the fuck was it? And this kind of, it was done a little better because in Halloween, than Halloween 5, you had the two kind of bumbling cops. And it kind of had me harken back to 5 when they had those two guys, and they actually played like cartoon music. Wah 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 wah. Woo!
Yeah.
It's like that was so dumb. And when I saw these cops, I'm like, please don't play that fucking music. Please don't play that fucking music. It was played off a little better, I will say.
Yeah, it was a little better.
Man, that fucking scene where Karen's husband walks out and sees that fucking flashlight up that dude's fucking head.
Yes.
That was awesome.
Like
the kills in this movie were fucking fantastic.
Like I feel bad for like Lori though, because like I mean, when Child Protective Service took Karen away because of her teaching her how to shoot guns and all that, they took her away because she thought she was nuts. Mm-hmm. I'm like, damn, that's what all it takes in this universe for Child Protection Services to take a kid away? Is to live in the basement and shoot a gun? Oh,
yeah, right.
I guess
that was just kind of ugh. But they who was it? Yeah, they. So it gets pretty suspenseful. So like they all go to Lori's house, and they found Lori has pretty much a compound. This is my only small nitpick with this film was like, where the fuck did you get the money to build this place? It's like a goddamn
the fortress.
Fucking Linda Hamilton, Sarah Connor fucking.
It's amazing. I fucking love it.
Yeah, I mean, that's the only little small nitpick I have. I'm like, oh, what the fuck, man? Where'd she get the money for this? You know? And
I really think she got the money from like people like from 2 podcasters, like people wanting to know her story. And then I have a feeling the city of Haddonfield probably gave her like restitution or some shit because of all the shit she's been through. Plus, she's been divorced twice, so she's getting money from the divorces too. So
that's a good point. That's a good point. So we get Michael. He kills Karen's husband, and so a fight ensues. Lori blows off half of Michael's hand. A lot of stabbing, and she gets stabbed as well. So they trap Michael in the basement, and Karen finally finds her mojo and shoots Michael and lures him down there so they can trap him, and they set him on fire, and they take off into the night. And that ends 2018. I like this film. I thought it was good.
I had no qualms about this one. All the throwbacks.
I will say, when I first saw it, when I first seen this film coming out, I was just like, I said, oh God, not another fucking retcon, not another complete retooling of the franchise. Please, not again.
I thought that too.
I wasn't sold at first. So I went into this movie with zero expectations. I'm like, okay, John Carpenter's part of it again. So is Jamie Lee Curtis. but I wasn't a big fan of H2O.
Yeah.
I thought it was okay. So let's see what happens. I walked out of that theater pleasantly surprised and going, wow, that was actually better than what I thought it would be.
Fun
Um,
fun fact, I didn't watch it till a year after it came out because I
I
refused to watch it.
I saw it on opening night. I went opening weekend. I had to see it in a theater. I went by myself, and I was actually scared to walk home because of the shit. Like, oh god. So, this film was actually the highest, the highest rated film in the franchise with $255.6 million.
It was well
So,
deserved. I just
so
I
if you, so go ahead if you have any more like thoughts on that, Chris, or
no, I mean, like I said, it took me a year to watch it. Like I refused to watch it. Halloween, I got burnt so many times with the zombie films and the later Halloween films. I was like, here we go again with another Halloween film. They're gonna fuck them up. They got this. They've hyped it up on TV. It's not gonna be good. And everyone's like, you need to watch it. You need to go see it. I'm like, no, I'm not going to theaters to watch it. I don't think it's. I think it's gonna be terrible. And one night I watched it on I think it was either Netflix or Amazon Prime. I was like, fuck it, I'm gonna order it and I'm gonna watch it. Finally, fell in love with it. All the throwbacks. If you watch the originals, where Michael Myers is walking down the road and the kid bumps into him and he falls. When it goes into the lady's house and grabs the knife when they're making sandwiches and he kills her. Then he goes into the other house with the lady shutting her blinds and kills her. All these are throwbacks to the originals that they threw in there. The Laurie Strode standing in the place where Michael Myers was. And like fucking Laurie's compound. The fight between her and Michael. She's got that fucking tactical shotgun. And every time she cleared a room, she hit a button. And the bitch would lock down with iron bars. Every room was barred off, so either he couldn't get in or get out if she missed him. She had that shit on lockdown.
She knew what she was doing.
That lady was fucking prepared. And then when they lit him on fire, they show where they're releasing butane throughout the fucking house.
Yep.
And I'm like, holy fuck, like, this is badass.
Yeah, she was definitely.
She's waiting for this.
Yeah. So, like I said, I think it was awesome. I mean, there was some deleted scenes. There was a scene where the podcasters were actually in a relationship with each other, and he was kind of getting it on with the girl in the shower with the Michael Myers mask on. That's actually a deleted scene.
That's fucking.
Yeah. So, but no, I enjoyed this film. I thought I was pleasantly surprised by it. Like I said, I went in with no expectations. I was just like, oh god, they're fucking resetting the timeline again. Really? How many times you gonna fucking do this? But I gave it a chance. I was like, okay, well, apparently Michael Myers never got killed. He just all the times he got shot, he just kind of okay, well, apparently he survived that. Okay, great. But I walked away, I'm like, okay, I believe in this. I can do this. This sold me. I can do this.
It gave me hope. It gave me hope when I watched it. It's like, damn, it took me a year to watch this, but
totally did.
I regret not watching it when it first came out, but I'm like, you know what? I'm glad I did watch it.
Oh my god, it was so good. It was really, really, really good. So then it was announced that this is a sequel trilogy. With Halloween Kills and Halloween Ends. So as you know, Halloween Kills came out last week. Chris and I both watched it.
Evil dies tonight.
Both watched it on Peacock. Now I'm going to warn you guys once again that this is a spoiler intensive thing. So if you guys don't want to watch this, I understand. But there's going to be spoilers and you're going to hear them. So apparently, well, this takes place right after the events of Halloween first one, like Halloween 2 in 81. So Michael Myers survives the fucking fire. We take Laurie Strode to the hospital. We have now brought back legacy characters such as Tommy Doyle,
Lindsay Wallace,
Lindsay,
Marion,
Nurse Chambers, and Lonnie, the little kid from the house where they're trying to dare him in the house where Dr. Loomis goes, "Hey, Lonnie, Get your ass away from there. And he runs off. So and then we're on the flashbacks about, it takes up after Allison's boyfriend is walking and finds Officer Hawkins, who was stabbed by the doctor who let Michael Myers out. Now, this is established now that Michael Myers was never really after Laurie. The doctor was trying to bring Michael to Laurie's house.
He was obsessed with Michael Myers and their story.
Yeah. He was obsessed with Michael Myers, so he probably thought maybe because she survived, he would go after her. So that's where all that was. So there was no obsession. Michael Myers wasn't obsessed with Laurie. He was just killing people. So this doctor set this all up. So the doctor stabbed Officer Hawkins in the throat. And this one, Allison's boyfriend finds him. They take him to the hospital. And so as Allison, Laurie, and and Karen are driving away, they see the firefighters all going to her house. And Laurie's really upset this time because, of course, they don't want
Let it burn! Let it burn!
Let it burn! So then,
man.
The firefighters show up. Michael Myers just lays waste to everybody. God damn, he just takes everybody out indiscriminately, just fucks them all up. And so Tommy Doyle and his gang, they all see that this is what's going on, and so they try to form a posse and a vigilante squad, and all hell breaks loose. And so Marion Chambers once again gets the short end of the stick and gets brutally butchered. That scene though, where he goes to that nursing home where the lady from the first movie, she's actually in the prior movie showing the podcasters the grave. I was telling Chris about this in the beginning before we started. Apparently, well, she gets a fucking fluorescent light bulb stabbed in her fucking neck, makes her watch as he kills the dude that she was taking care of. Again, that's about the thing about this series is this new series. It's like you actually feel bad for the people he fucking kills. It's like
the way he did it, like she's bleeding out through the fluorescent bulb.
Yep.
And watching him get stabbed in the back over and over again.
Turns around, grabs a knife, stabs him. Turns around, grabs a knife, stabs him in the back. It is insane, like what that movie's doing. So we're seeing in flashbacks that Officer Hawkins was there, and the flashbacks, and Chris and I were talking about this, were done beautifully.
Yes.
And we were talking about the Dr. Loomis character. That's not CGI. That is an actual actor they done up.
That's prosthetics, 11 pieces.
Yeah. When I saw that original, I saw the beginning of that. I was just like, "That's CGI. Really, they fucking did that?" Because I heard the voice of Dr. Loomis in the background. Like, are they really gonna show him? And they did. I'm like, "Oh my god!"
It was so good.
It was a different. It was an actual actor they did up as Dr. Loomis,
and he looked just fucking like awesome. Him. I loved it. Because I'm like Mindy. I was like, this has got to be CGI. This has got to be.
That's what I thought it was. I definitely thought it was CGI.
And then I saw on Facebook that it was a 11-piece prosthetic of a man that they put on his face and looked just like young Loomis. I was like, holy fuck! And he sounded like him. It was so fucking.
Yep, it did. It was really good. Well, apparently Hawkins and his partner were up in the house, and they showed the dead dog because in the first movie, in the '78 film,
guess he got hungry.
Sheriff Brackett says there's a dead dog up here. He's like, he must have got hungry. So they showed the dead dog.
So good.
So one of the officers is standing in the same window Michael looked out the window of his sister's room. Michael grabs him. Officer Hawkins can't shoot. He's trying to shoot, and he actually hits his partner in the neck, kills him, and Michael flies off,
walks away,
walks downstairs, and gets caught by the police. So, and as Loomis is trying to kill Michael Myers in the head, shoot Michael Myers in the head, Officer Hawkins stops him, and that's when he gets taken to the
sanatorium,
the hole. So
the pokey.
So Tommy Doyle and his gang start a posse. Apparently, the dude from the first movie, one of the escapees in the mental institution, is around too. And see, this is where this film really delves into what fear. See, that's the kind of thing that I did like. Yes, the whole evil dies tonight got a little annoying. I will agree with
So
that.
fucking
It
bad. I
did.
hated that part.
It got old. But I understood the whole premise of you get a town riled up and they're so stuck with fear that they don't care. They don't give a shit. Everything they think
Yeah.
irrationally, and that's why like everybody's like, why'd they kill that? Why'd that go after that guy? He didn't even look like Michael Myers.
They didn't know.
Fear does that to you. You think irrationally. You don't think.
You just know it's a stranger that doesn't belong here, and he's got a fucking mental suit on. So guess what? It's Michael Myers.
And now because you're so filled up with fear, these people change. And that was a sad
Such
scene.
a.
I felt bad for that dude.
I did not like that scene. I felt, and when Karen tried to help him, and like
Yeah,
locked him in
and
the
he still got
hallway, and he killed himself. I was like, no, oh my
like,
god.
and the way they showed, oh my god, that guy got fucked
His
up at
head
the end.
splattered like a fucking watermelon. It was bad.
I was telling Chris, like the actual actor who played him recently passed away, I guess. So
I'm so sad.
big ups to that guy. He did a great job. That scene was
Really well done.
disturbing. I liked Big John and Little
I
John.
love Big John, Little John. I love fucking Stewart.
Little John was an actor on Mad TV. He played Stewart. Was it Stewart?
Look what I can do. Yeah, Stewart.
Yeah, that dude. Yeah, I remember that. Yeah, because I knew that guy from familiar. That was that was a funny scene. I mean, like I said, it wasn't. Some people had a problem with how kind of the common comedic kind of angle of that, but I thought it was kind of neat.
I liked it.
But man, that one kill where that fucking chick dressed up like a nurse was trying to shoot him, and he hits the fucking door
and pops in her head,
blasts her in the neck.
Like,
I like that. I thought that was like, oh,
I was so mad.
That was bad.
I was like, she gets out the fucking car, and then my thing is, you didn't know where she went. Like she disappeared. Like yeah. I'm like, where'd you go? And then it shows her coming back to shoot the gun. I'm like, you let your husband die. You let Marion die. Marion Chambers, I swear to fucking God.
She doesn't get a good break.
She does not.
She gets a bad. She gets the short of the stick. And
I was so salty.
She got killed like within.
Like the first 30 minutes of the film, if that 45 minutes. I remember, and I texted Mindy or Discord messaged Mindy. I'm like, I'm so salty about what they did to Marion. I was pissed when I was watching it. I was like, no. Why did she do that to her? I was so mad.
She always gets like the short end of the stick when it comes to like Halloween deaths. She's like the first to go.
And
so
she was like, "This is for Loomis."
Doctor guy getting that knife in the face. Oh god, that was just nasty.
I didn't like his character. I give him props for being brave at the end, but I could not stand his character. He was one of the whiny dudes. I was
glad he died.
Yeah, I didn't care about him. Like him and the nurse lady. I was like, you didn't know enough about him, I guess, or they didn't have enough screen time, I guess, to really.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you didn't really get to know them.
I mean, in all honesty, I don't know.
This was probably the most brutal you've seen Michael Myers do. This is like the most brutal like I've ever seen him in a film. The mask looked awesome. I love the fucking half
burns and blood and stuff on it. It was good.
That was badass. And just like I was just like, man. So it starts becoming more established in this film, I feel, that Michael Myers is a supernatural force.
Yeah.
Which kind of made sense in the first 78 film where Dr. Loomis is saying he's a force of evil. He's pure evil. He doesn't care. He's just indiscriminate.
He's just a monster.
So, anyway, the town gangs up on him. Sheriff Brackett's back in it.
I fucking love that. I fucking loved it.
I saw that, and I saw that scene in the hospital. I'm like, oh my god, fucking Sheriff Brackett, the real actual dude. I couldn't believe it.
I was like, he's got to be pushing his fucking 80s, man. He's got to be in his 80s. I was like, there's no fucking way. I was like,
Charlie Cyphers. Oh my god! And then they brought him back. Were there some cheesy Yeah, there were some cheesy one-liners. I mean, even the part where the mob scene where Laurie. I thought that was kind of cool where Karen lures him out.
Yeah.
She fucking curb stomps Myers in the fucking head. That scene where Allison's boyfriend gets killed, that was brutal.
Man,
him getting slammed on that railing,
and then he broke his neck, and then he breaks at the end. I was like,
then he's
overkill.
Then he walks down the stairs, notices he's still kind of breathing, takes his neck. and it just comes after her.
I was so mad though when Karen and Allison were in the house and Karen had the pitchfork, stabbed him with it. I was like, bitch, why didn't you hold him down with it and just curb stomp him into the steps? Bust his head. I was yelling at that part. I'm like, why did you let go? Stab him to the ground. Oh
So
man.
that was nasty. I like how she took the mask off and like he came out, just
Yeah.
stood there, and she's like, "I'm an innocent woman. You go ahead, like goading him." And then the chase ensued. And he got caught with the mob, and they take him out. And so they thought they got the upper hand. Then he just wastes everybody.
He was just catching his
But see,
breath.
like this is a lot of people had a problem with that. Like, well, but like, well, why he took all those hits and got shot, and he still came back. It's like, but you guys were okay with everything that's happened to him before. So why is this now a problem? I mean, I think it's because David Gordon Green did say in interviews that Michael Myers was human.
Yeah.
So that kind of jarred people going, wait a minute,
There's no human that can handle this.
But it's just like, well, look at what happened to him in 2018. He got fucking stabbed, shot, burned, and half his head blown off.
He shouldn't have lived in that fire, but he did.
No real human is gonna survive that. I'm
No.
sorry, it's just not.
If not from the burns, he'd have died from inhaling all the smoke from the house.
One piece of criticism that I couldn't understand. And then there's like, Laurie was sidelined. What the fuck do you expect? The fucking woman was stabbed in the fucking abdomen, had to have surgery to fix it. She wasn't gonna fucking go ditch herself. Okay, I'm ready to go. Let's do this shit. I'm out of here, bitch. And so anyway, and then the ending. A lot of people had a problem with the ending. Like the ending, they didn't like that. Somehow Myers just appeared out of nowhere and took Karen out, and that was the end of the movie.
He's done it before.
Weird,
He's done it before.
But I understood it. I thought I liked it. But I understood it because, I think because people understand this is the middle part of the movie. I didn't expect there to be a resolution.
No.
There is an alternate. Now, I was telling Chris this before we went on, and there is an alternate ending of this movie that will be on the Blu-ray, that will be canon. And I'm going to tell what it is. What happens, if you don't want to hear it, don't watch the stream. So, much like you watching our streams, we do appreciate the views, her and I, but here's going to get funky. Okay, after, Michael Myers kills Karen, her phone goes off. Laurie's calling, and Michael sees it. It's an unknown number. He picks it up, and it flashes back to 78, where she's on. Remember when he kills Linda?
Yeah.
And he called, and he's just nothing but breathing.
Mm-hmm.
So because she's calling from the hospital, she's on her phone. She's calling Karen's cell from the hospital on a hospital phone. She hears that breathing again.
She knows.
So she knows what happened to her. And basically, at the end, she goes, "I'm coming for you, Michael."
Oh, they should have put that one in. They should have put that one in.
I think that was. I'm kind of glad they didn't, though. I think it would have been generic.
I don't know.
I don't know. It sounds cool, but I think it would be. I mean, I have to watch it when it comes out. I want to see it played out. You know what I mean?
I don't know.
But it's just I don't want. I'm hoping Laurie Strode doesn't turn into this fucking Linda Hamilton, Sarah Connor, Terminator shit. I'm kind of curious to see how this movie's gonna end. I really am.
Well, you see how she's already taken hits and had to go to the hospital, so she's nowhere near like Michael. I mean, no. She is human.
Yes.
But I hope that they take each other out and it's the end. Both of them.
I'm curious about that. Like I said, there's got to be I'm hoping there's a good resolution to this because, as you all know, there is going to be a time jump in this movie. It's going to be a 4-year time jump. So, and apparently, I was telling Chris, COVID's going to be addressed. Which why do we need to bring that up? in this movie. We know it's happening. We don't need to. What are they going to do? Tell me, well, Michael decided, to stay away because he didn't want to catch
Social
COVID, and
distancing.
so his mask wasn't going to help, and he's gonna have to social distance. So he hid away for a while because he didn't want. He's at risk. He's in the 60s, so he's gonna hide away.
Oh my god!
Don't fucking bring up COVID. I mean, just
It really doesn't have a point in the Halloween films.
We hear about that stuff every day in the news. Why do we need to hear that in entertainment? No, come on, no. But we'll see how it plays out. It comes out next year. Halloween ends. Personally, Halloween Kills. To me, I feel the way people are talking about it makes it feel like it's the last Jedi of the fucking Halloween franchise. If you've watched 2018 and enjoyed it and loved the shit out of it, you're gonna hate this one, and vice versa. If you didn't like 2018, you like this one. Where I stand on it, I like them both equally fine. I like them both the same. Were there some ridiculous shit in Kills that was kind of annoying? Yeah.
Evil Dies Tonight.
Yeah. I'm gonna be the first to admit that. But but there was some annoying shit in the first one. So, but it didn't take away what I thought of the movie. I'm curious to see where this goes. I'm hoping it has a nice landing and doesn't fucking
crash and burn.
Fall off the rails like the other two timelines did. I mean, how I want this to end, like I said, I hope it's Laurie and Michael both dying, like killing each other and taking each other out, and that's it.
And no more after that. No more.
Yeah, no more. I don't even want to see no more fucking retcons and. Because where else can you go after that? You can't.
Unless you retcon it all over again and make another fucking timeline. I mean, I think I have a little more issues with it than Mindy with Kills. I like Kills for all the throwbacks. I have super big rose-tinted glasses on for throwbacks, and like bringing Tommy, even though Tommy and Lindsay Wallace really didn't add anything to the film. She was there for like as long as Marion Chambers was, and they, she gets sent off to the hospital. Marion Chambers dies. It was nice seeing them growing up as adults and being like, I watched these kids run for their life from Michael Myers. Tommy's character, he reminded me of a war vet that had like PTSD, but like a campy, not well portrayed PTSD. Like, I don't know. Him and the damn baseball bat, the Huckleberry. He got whooped on at the very end by that ball Mikey boy. He wanted to get Mike with it, but Mike got him. But the fucking silver shamrock mask, fucking amazing, dude. Like,
I agree.
I love that scene with Big John, Little John, and the kid's like, my sister ate a piece of candy and it had a rusted razor blade in it, and she's on the ground, and like they tricked Big John, Little John.
Yep.
And they've got the silver shamrock, the skeleton, the witch, and the pumpkin outfits on. Mm-hmm. Now, when the kid got killed, their friend with the skeleton outfit on, I didn't feel bad for him either. Like, he was another character I really didn't care that died.
That was the second kid he killed.
That's the second kid he killed, and like I didn't connect with the kids in that film. I was like, whatever.
No, me neither. They were brats.
Yeah, they were aggravated.
I was kind of hoping to get off.
But Big John, Little John, I love their characters, and it was really weird that Michael like placed them in a weird like position. Like he laid them on each other. Like he had Big John sitting up, and then Little John was laying on his lap.
Yeah, like the portrait in the picture.
Yeah, and I'm like,
yeah, he got creative with his kills. I will say that
he was. It's a lot different Michael than the originals, but like I said, all the throwbacks. And then fucking, I got goosebumps when he said, when Brackett told Michael, everyone's entitled to one good scare. I was like,
yeah,
oh, fuck yes. I was so fucking happy when he said that. I was like, dude, chills, chills. And then he died.
Yeah, he didn't last long. He got wasted too, so.
Then the lady with the fucking clothes iron in the mob. Like, everyone's got like memes of her now, of her with her little iron, ready to fight Michael. I'm like, that's the best bitch of the group right there. She brought a clothes iron to fight him. I'm like, get her.
Right? That's badass. I like that.
But yeah, The qualms, it's just I don't know. I didn't like the kill of the crazy guy. I felt so bad for him. But she said
Yeah,
fear
that
makes
was
you do
sad.
crazy. It was so sad. He just wanted help, and they turned on him. But like you said, when you have that pack mentality and you're fueled by fear, you've that mob mentality. No one's safe. I mean,
No.
didn't they learn from the first Halloween, the original second Halloween, that mob mentality doesn't work. They shot the poor guy in the bushes that was just taking a whiz or something.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's just that's a throwback from that.
I mean, look at Dr. Loomis on Part 2 in 1981.
Yeah.
That kid, Ben Tramer, was walking around. He didn't even realize it wasn't Michael. I mean,
I just slammed him in
he
the
was
fucking
just
car.
he was just so consumed with paranoia and to stop Michael Myers. He tried to shoot him,
And my
and he
thing,
ended up getting killed.
he ended up getting killed. I was like, dude, and just I don't know the whole when Karen had him with the pitchfork, it pissed me off. You could have ended Michael right then and there, and then the
I know,
mob.
right?
The mob whooped on his ass and then stopped. I wouldn't have stopped until Mush came out that mask. He
Yeah,
would have been
really.
nothing but a puddle. Why give that man a chance to get up? Why?
Yeah, really. That kind of
But I
because
get
maybe
it.
they thought they had some sort of hero complex because of their paranoia and fear that they
He stopped
thought he
moving.
yeah they thought he was done. They thought he
Shit.
was down for the count and he was done. After Karen went down and stabbed him and shit, they thought he was done. But
He pulled a whole 180 surprise, bitch. Grabbed that knife and got Brackett and then got everybody else. And then
it was definitely a fun ride. I gotta
it was
say,
fun.
it was a fun ride.
Do I like this one better than 18? I like 8. I still like 18 better. But is it as bad as people are giving it on social media about? Absolutely not.
I agree.
It's good. It's good in its own merit. But first one's still my favorite. But this one's not as bad as what people are saying it is. Don't listen to critics. Don't listen to the fans on the TV or social media. Watch it.
18. I will agree with you. 18 was slightly for me. 18 was slightly better. But there were things I thought that Halloween Kills did better than 18 did. But I still liked them both the same. I came away from that movie going, I can't wait to see ends. I can't wait to see how this ends.
I want to see how it ends.
I didn't walk out of here and going
disappointed.
oh,
I'm like,
God.
this was a piece of shit.
This was the third Halloween movie I've seen in theaters that I actually walked out of the theater going, yeah, I like this. That was the only one was H2O. I was like, wow, I hope they really do kill him off this time, and not fucking. Then we had Resurrection, and it was fucking. Oh God.
And it went right back downhill again.
Bullshit.
So I hope this is not the curse of Michael Myers, and when they try to end it, it goes downhill. I hope this one ends.
Yeah.
On a good note.
I mean, they could swing. Now it's gonna come down to where. Is it going to be like? Are you going to end this the way it should be ended on a good note, or
you gonna follow the predecessors and be a shit show?
God, don't.
Knock on wood.
My hope is don't put current events in it. Don't put politics into this. Just fucking make a horror film. Take people away from the, you know, everyday real life bullshit, and just make a fucking good horror film and end this fucking series the way it should have been ended. Like a good resolve, not like how we have to make up our own custom timelines where I like 1 and 2. I could just watch 1 and 2 and be okay with that, or watch 1, 2, and 4 and be okay with that, and fuck everything else. I want to be make 1, 2, 3. Yeah, this ended on a good note.
I want to be able to watch a whole trilogy or a whole Halloween series from beginning to end and be happy that I watched it from beginning to end and not watch it
exactly
and be pissed off and disappointed by the time I ended it.
That's why I have hope, because the same people are involved with this.
Yeah.
You're not doing this and then handing it off to another director who's just going to do something completely fucking different and fuck it all up potentially for everybody else. So
I have hope. Knock on wood.
So
I still think I love that Danny McBride, dude from fucking Tropic Thunder.
I like him.
It's fucking a big part of it. He is. He's hilarious, and he's such a good producer and director.
No. I've never seen his show Eastbound and Down. I heard that was really good.
I've seen snippets of it, and it's pretty decent. I haven't watched full episodes of it though.
I liked him in that Land of the Lost movie. That was fucking hilarious.
Oh my! I forgot he was in that. Forgot.
And I used to love The Land of the Lost. I used to love that show when I was a kid. The 1970s show.
Yeah.
I mean, that was cutting edge stuff for fucking
Back in the day.
1974, all green screen shit. Now I could probably do this on recreate that on stream, and I'd be all right.
You probably could. You probably could. Shit.
Oh my god! But
I'm proud of what they've done.
So, for me, out of all this goofy convoluted franchise called Halloween, I would have to say 1, 2, 4, and this current timeline are my favorite films.
I agree. 1, 2, 4 from the originals, and then this timeline. Everything else, it's a toss up. Like I said, Resurrection, H2O, I'll watch. They'll never be my favorites, but like I said, 1, 2, 4, and then this timeline are probably the best Halloweens.
I'd have to say I would still watch 3 above fucking 4, 5. Well, no, I would watch 3 more than 5, 6, Resurrection, or Rob Zombie's Halloween 2. If I was on a deserted island and it was the only choice of films I would watch, I would watch 3, then Resurrection, and then never have to watch 5, 6, or Zombies Halloween 2 ever again.
I mean, Rob Zombie's Halloweens would be like torture for me. Like if I got abducted by somebody and they wanted private information from me, all they gotta do is put the Rob Zombie Halloweens on repeat, and I will break eventually.
Are fucking annoying in Rob Zombie's movies. That's what bothers me the fucking most about them films. The characters are just so fucking annoying.
And I'm so worried about the monsters he's making. Everyone's like, Rob Zombie's a big monsters fan. If anyone can make the monsters, it's him. I'm like, let me tell you, I grew up on the monsters. If he fucks the monsters up like he did Halloween, I'm gonna be pissed off.
It's just ridiculous. It's just redundant. But
his wife is being Lily Monster, and I'm so mad. Oh, I'm so mad.
I'm surprised they haven't made a fucking a remake of Sleepaway Camp.
I wish they would. I love Sleepaway Camp. I fucking love it.
Well, I don't know how they'd end it because they would never pull off what they pulled off in that movie, where they found out that the killer was actually a boy and not a girl. Oh, that was made to be a girl, and
I don't think it would in today's society.
Freaked me the fuck out. Oh my god.
And like hissing noises. I'm like, oh my god. I don't. This day and time, I don't think it would.
Angel's a boy.
I don't think it'd be socially like people wouldn't.
It wouldn't be. It wouldn't make it in today's world. There's no way.
Back in that time when it was made, it was a different world.
Yeah, it was a totally different time back then, and but the kid wasn't really trans though. He was just he was forced to be a girl.
She was
because
forced, yeah. Her aunt.
His sister was killed in a boat accident, and the crazy aunt
always wanted a daughter.
Wanted him to be a boy.
No, wanted to be a girl.
I wanted the boy to be a girl and called him. So he really wasn't a trans individual. He was forced to be a female.
And I think it kind of messed him up.
Relative.
But you know how in today's society people would take that.
It wouldn't fly. It would never fly in today's world. That's just the way it is. I'm not complaining. It's just the way it is.
I mean, Sleepaway Camp's a good film, but
that ending scene though. He's like growling like a fucking animal.
So fun. And then they made extra like
I think that full figure was a dummy. I don't think that was a real.
I don't think
that was a real person.
I think it was just like no,
it's like a prosthetic or something.
No, I think it was a real dude, but they CGI'd her face on the guy's body, or put a mask on him.
They made a sequel of that too. I never watched.
There's like 3 of them.
The first one was good enough.
Yeah, I was like, I saw the first one.
Yeah, the first one was good enough, and then now apparently they're making another Texas Chainsaw movie.
I'm so sick of that.
Apparently, this one now. Let me see.
Is it the origin one?
What's that?
Is it the origins or whatever?
No. It's supposed to be a brand new. It's supposed to be a new theatrical movie. It's supposed to come out in 2022. It's actually just called the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, and it's supposed to be a direct sequel to the '74 movie, and disregards everything that ever came around.
But I like old Chop Top.
So I don't know. I don't think. Yeah, they don't. They're not getting. It seems like they're not getting anybody who was involved in those movies. So
well, you know the guy that who was it? He died. The one that directed
Uh,
it?
Toby Hooper.
Yeah, Toby Hooper passed.
Oh, I never
I,
met him.
I think Toby Hooper
I
passed.
met the girl who played Sally Hardesty.
That's the one at the very end, isn't it? Where she's riding in the back of the truck.
Yeah, she's the main. She's like this female, the lone survivor. I met her before. But yeah, this plot will feature a 60-year-old Leatherface. It's they're trying to go the Halloween route, where they're trying to it takes place. I figured they're gonna go that route. They're like, well, it worked
I
for
like Halloween.
Halloween, so we're going to do this with Texas Chainsaw. It might work. Who knows? If it's done well, I want to see what happens to the characters after it's all said and done. You know what I mean?
It'd be interesting if they do it right.
Yeah. So, and like I said, and I'll never watch there will never be for me
Freddy?
a Nightmare on Elm Street film without Robert England. Without
No,
Robert England,
absolutely
there
not.
is no Freddy Krueger.
They tried that.
Fuck that remake. That remake was fucking
We
horrible.
don't talk about that. That was ugh.
I watched that out of curiosity's sake because to me I was just like, you know what? I am not watching this movie without fucking that dude. There's no way I'm not watching this.
Jackie
This
Earl
is
Hurley's a good actor, but he was not
yeah,
Freddy Krueger.
but he's not. Robert Englund is the only man to play that part, and that's it.
That's it.
But even with me, like with the Nightmare franchise, up to Dream Wars is it for
Yeah.
me. After Dream Warriors, I was done.
Well, New Nightmare was good. New Nightmare
Because
was good.
um Wes Craven, yeah, that was actually really good. I don't remember a lot of it, but I do like that one. Because everything after 3 before New Nightmare was more or less to me like a dark comedy.
Pretty
It
much.
started getting weird,
It
and
got goofy.
as much as it started getting goofy, and I love the first Nightmare on Elm Street was fucking
It's
brilliant.
fucking amazing.
I love that movie with its use of practical effects.
Yes.
I mean, Wes Craven really pulled that off.
It
It
was
was
so
awesome. Good. And like even the Friday 13th, everything up to 6 is fine for me.
Yep.
Even 5, I don't mind, but everything else is kind of I don't really care for that.
We just got done watching Jason X again. Such a bad fucking movie.
It's funny. It's hilarious.
It's so bad.
It's good. And then I didn't care for Freddy versus Jason. Did not age well. I thought Robert Englund was the best part of that movie.
He was like
he fucking chewed up the scenery in that fucking movie.
But it did not age well. The CGI was fucking god awful.
The movie did not age well at all. And like I said, I did not. The 2009 remake was oh god. It's like, but apparently the lawsuit is finally settled between
Friday the 13th.
Yeah, so so there might probably be more movies made concerning them guys. So
I don't know. Like that's just like Hellraiser. They're about to make a new Hellraiser film, but they're actually turning Pinhead into a female.
I never watched that. I never really got into that franchise. I don't think I don't even know the last time I watched a Hellraiser movie.
I love Hellraiser. It's just like Halloween. Like 1 through 4 with Hellraiser are great. Anything after that is a shit show. It is a shit show, and I will not watch them.
Yeah, I think the only horror remake I think they did right was the Texas Chainsaw. The 2003 Texas Chainsaw Massacre was actually really good.
If it's the one I think it was,
okay.
I think it's. I think I know which one you're talking about. If that was the one that went to the movie theaters, yeah, that one's really done.
With Jessica Biel.
Oh yeah, that's the one that went to theaters. Yeah, that was good.
That was actually a decent remake, and it was, and I liked the fact. Well, Arlie Ermines, and I love that dude, and it was pretty fucked up because the guy who played Leatherface apparently was so into his role that they had to tell him to tone it down because he offset. He was actually being
snorting and squealing and shit with the chainsaw.
Yeah, when he was off camera, he was actually really into the part. They actually had to tell him to tone it down. At least he was getting too crazy. Like he loved this. He played it again in the beginning. That was okay. I mean, that's basically just a prequel, and it didn't need to happen. I mean, they didn't need to make that movie.
But money, cash grab.
Yeah, and I remember like Friday the 13th. They actually had a series. I don't know if you knew they actually had a series of that, right? Did you know
for that? TV? Yeah, the TV series of Friday 13th.
Yeah.
No, I didn't watch it, but I knew it existed.
I remember when that came out because I was when the fuck did that come out? Jesus Christ. That did come out like the mid '80s, I think, and it was interesting to watch because it did have what the fuck was it?
Jessica Biel in jeans
Shit.
was hot. Ellie. Oh, Ellie.
I know. Yeah, I don't know. Did you know anything of the premise of it or how it happened or
What, the TV show?
yeah.
I just know that it was like something on YouTube I was watching that they said there was like a TV show based off of Friday the 13th, but that's as far as I got on
Oh
that.
yeah. Well, we're gonna quickly get into this before we sign out here, but um, yeah, Friday 13th the series kind of did what Halloween did, like with Halloween 3,
Oh, okay. Like kind of like
where
an
it
anthology thing?
where it had nothing to do with the original franchise. It had nothing to do with Jason Voorhees. It was basically a, I don't know if you two Mickey and Ryan, they inherited owners of an antique store, which they learned is cursed from Jack Marshak, only to have given away all of the cursed antiques. The trio then worked together to recover them and put them back in the safety of the shop's vault. Um, originally it was titled The 13th Hour, but producer Frank Mancuso Jr. thought this would turn away viewers and instead took the Friday 13th to literally draw an audience. That's the only reason he named it Friday the 13th
Just
was
to
to
get
get
the
an
views.
audience.
Wow.
It had no story connection to the series of the same title. As Jason Voorhees does not make an appearance, nor does any character connected to the films. Yeah, so
What a little cheap
basically,
move.
yeah. So the premise is Louis Vendretti made a deal with the devil to sell cursed antiques, but he broke the fact. Now his niece Mickey and her cousin Ryan have inherited the store, with it the curse. Now they must get everything back, and the real terror begins. So it had nothing to do with Jason Voorhees or Friday the 13th, the movies, or anything. That's how it ended up, and because like it was kind of neat to watch. I mean, it was kind of like it's kind of like a morality thing too. Like these people that didn't have anything going for them in their life, they picked up these cursed antiques and it would give them like what they wanted
But what a price.
at a price. Yeah, because there was this person this there was a thing where they had a woman on there who was jealous of her sister because she was more attractive than her, and could sing. And they had this thing where, so they had this. I forget what the art was. It turned her beautiful and made her sing, but it corrupted her soul. So she tried to kill her sister. And it was
Holy.
yeah, it was pretty neat. It was pretty neat, but it said again, it had nothing to do with Jason, and they intentionally did it just to draw an audience. So it was like,
Such a
why would
cheap move to do though.
you might be able to see that on YouTube? You might be able to find that on YouTube,
I may be able to pull up
which is
snippets of it. Speaking of,
but
did you watch the new episode of that Chucky's episode
we'll
I
watch
sent you?
it. I will definitely watch it tonight. So
They got I guess they're putting all of them on YouTube because the second episode is also on YouTube too now.
oh no shit. Oh god, I'm gonna put that up. And you said that's actually pretty good, huh?
It's got old Brad Dourif, the one that does the original Chucky. He's in it.
Durof's in it,
Yeah,
really?
he's reprised the role as Chucky.
Oh
It
nice,
so far it's
nice.
like 2 episodes, and I enjoy it. It's really fucking good.
I'll definitely check that out. I actually met the kid that played Andy in the original one.
Did you really?
Yeah, he was just getting ready to leave, and I met him. He's a really cool dude.
He's gonna be in this. I think he's in the TV series too later
Oh
on.
man, because yeah, that series for a while. Like I don't know if I even remember watching this. I think I saw the second one, Child Play 2, like a long time ago.
I think I
But I
watched
don't
till
remember
3.
anything past that because it was dumb.
It got stupid, just like a lot of other horror films. Like I watched
Uh,
I watched it up to Seed of Chucky, and that's where I stopped.
you got farther than I did, girl. I didn't watch the rest of
I
that
watched
shit.
Seed of Chucky, and then I stopped, and then not too a few years ago, I think it was the Cult of Chucky came out. I think I was living
Mm-hmm.
renting our trailer at that time, and I watched the Cult of Chucky. I'm like, this shit is absolutely batshit bonkers. I'm like, this is why straight to DVD and straight to like TV, because it was bad, but the TV series fucking great so far.
I'll have to check that out, and maybe I'll check that out before I go to bed. So, but all right. Well, I think that's gonna wrap this up. We've been at this for fucking hours, girl. 3 hours.
Has it really been 3 hours?
Yeah.
Oh shit, you right.
We're gonna have to like. We definitely need to do this again.
Yeah,
I think this was good times.
this was fun. Especially talking about Halloween. I mean,
I mean, my God. But but yeah, like I said, I said if you guys want to see us do more of these, that'd be great. We'll definitely do them. I'm always up for it.
I'm always
Um,
down.
it's like we just have to find us a movie to watch and we'll discuss it.
Like I don't know if whether it be a series or just one movie or whatever
Yeah.
it is. And Mel wants to
Um,
do Ghostbusters, but my knowledge on Ghostbusters ain't that great.
I
I
know.
I have to
Me
watch
neither. I
them.
watched the first two. Well, I love the first two, and I remember the thing about Ghostbusters. They actually got that off a Filmation series called Ghostbusters from 1975.
Huh?
Now, Filmation had like He-Man, She-Ra, and stuff like that in the 80s,
Yeah.
and the Columbia Pictures actually had to get the rights for that.
Oh shit.
So when 1986 came around, the Ghostbusters movie,
Yeah.
Filmation name, so they called their animated series Ghostbusters. It had nothing to do with the movie. It it was it was based off the 70s live action show they did called the Ghostbusters, and so that's why in the cartoon you see the real Ghostbusters because they're poking at Filmation
Oh
for that.
damn.
Yeah,
Being
so
shady.
but it's very weird how they pull that off. But um, one we could do one next thing we could do is definitely the two movies I sent to you, which is Dark Scarecrow and Duel.
Yeah. We actually could do those. Like the Dark Night of the Dark of the Scarecrow. Oh my god.
That was good.
It's such a
For a
good movie.
for a made for TV 1981
It's
film
so good.
of made for TV,
I
that was a
loved it. It was a
good
fucking
fucking
movie.
movie. I forget who was in that too. So,
Yeah, I'm down
but
if we talk about that one.
yeah, we'll definitely have the one. So, all right, Chris, that's where I'm gonna is and that is
All right. It was fun. I had a blast. Even had a drink along with it. But we'll definitely have to do this again. I hope you guys enjoyed it on Miss Mindy's side. I hope you
I
guys
know.
enjoyed it. I hope you guys like listen to us ramble about Michael Myers. I enjoyed this.
No. And again, guys, I do apologize on my end. I'm having a really shit fucking internet problem. So hopefully, maybe I will steal Chris's stream and put it on mine. So, so I'll rerun it or something. Put it on YouTube. You guys can see it all this go down a few minutes. And I do apologize for this. I wasn't expecting this crap to go down and give me. Thank you, man, for being asshole and ruining my stream once again. You fucking fucking fat one. So,
Poor Mindy.
yeah, I had to get my plug in for fucking those douchebags. But Chris, well, you have a lovely evening, girl. I'm gonna bounce.
All
Thank
right,
you so
girl.
much for joining. I do appreciate all this.
Thank you for collaborating with me on this. This was fun.
Yeah, yeah, no, we're definitely gonna do this again.
Fuck
So,
yes.
hell yeah. All
And
right.
enjoy the
Have
rest of your
a
night.
you have a lovely evening.
Bye, guys. Good night.
See you, Chris.
Bye. All right, guys. So, oh, I gotta put my camera back on. If it'll pick it up. Ugh, it won't pick it up. Damn it. Because of Zoom. Hang on. Oh yeah, I'm gonna have to redo my camera. But guys, I hope you had an awesome night. I hope you guys enjoyed the show. I hope you guys enjoy listening to me and Mindy chat it up. Sorry, I have no camera right here. Oh my god. Yeah, I can't get anything to show. You have to redo that. But guys, enjoy the rest of y'all's night. I'll be on tomorrow to play the new Dark Pictures Anthology game that Ellie has so graciously reminded me about that I did not know was out yet. We're gonna play that. But yeah, if you guys want to hear me and Mindy talk, about a horror series or anything, let us know. Let us give us your ideas on what you want to hear. But guys, I'm gone for the night. You guys take care. And I will see y'all guys tomorrow. Goodbye. You asshole. Scare the shit out of me. Good night.